marvelous with patients. They love the treatment. There's no injections. There's no medication. There's no surgery. There's none of that. It's strictly either the laser, the acupuncture I do, or shockwave therapy I do. Open 6 days a week. Come in for the free consultation and be willing to look at you and help you.
Take advantage of that no-charge consultation with Dr. Appleton. Remember, appointments are not necessary and walk-ins are welcome even on Saturdays. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com.
Jupiter Joe here. Isn't it time to protect your money in this crazy market? Well, we can make sure you don't lose any more money. By taking advantage of our 15% bonus annuity, that's right, get up to 15% on your money day one and keep what you earn. Give me a call and see how this works. Call 561-743-0999 or go to jupiterjoe.com. That's 15% guaranteed, risk-free on your money. Call 561-743-0999 or go to jupiterjoe.com.
Hi, Tom Laporta here. We are Laporta Roofing, a family business since 1983. You are our customer. In other words, our boss. We are here for and because of you, not the other way around. The 2026 rainy season is upon us. Because we haven't had a hurricane in 2 years, all the storm chaser roofing companies have gone out of business, leaving only the strongest and the best contractors. At Laporta Roofing, we will never sell you a roof you don't need. We don't have salesmen or commissions, so we will never pressure you to sign a contract. Also, deposits are not required. At Laporta Roofing, you will always come first. We must earn your trust, and we will. So call me on my cell at 954-604-4602 or find us on the web at laportaroofing.com. That number again is 954-604-4602, 954-604-4602, or on the web at laportaroofing.com.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
All right, it's Friday. I'm Brian. Welcome back. Okay, so let me recap and get through this. So I came across this article in the Free Beacon, and they came across an article from the 2009 New York Times where Ahmed in Michigan pledged his loyalty to support Sharia law for the rest of his time on earth. Oh, my goodness. That's just what you want in the Senate, isn't it? Wait till you hear from his crazy sister. Oh, my goodness. You think he's bad. His sister says what he's thinking, but she says it, right? He's got to clean his act up. He's running for the Senate. All right, so let's get back to this. New York Times 2009 article, El Sayed proclaims his obligation to follow Sharia law until the day he dies. And in 2009, he said this to the New York Times. Ultimately, the question is, when I die and I stand before God and go through everything I did in my life, I don't want to say I did it the easy way, instead of the Sharia-compliant way. Not because of fear, but because of obligation, said Ahmed to the New York Times, who was identified at the time as a 24-year-old medical student and Rhodes Scholar who had just taken out a Sharia-compliant mortgage to purchase a $123,000 condominium in Ann Arbor. Could someone tell me what a Sharia-compliant mortgage is? Because it's a funny thing that they mention that, because I read another article about Fannie and Freddie doing Sharia-compliant mortgages. What the heck is that? I thought a mortgage was just a mortgage. What's a Sharia-compliant mortgage? Does anyone know? I never heard of that until this morning. I've heard it twice already. We're being absorbed, you know. That's what's going on here. Sharia, back to this article here. Sharia or Islamic religious law sets strict rules for living that include harsh restrictions on women and gruesome medieval-era forms of criminal justice, no doubt about it. Sharia law prohibits the paying or earning of interest, a restriction that has led some banks to offer special mortgages to devout... What? You don't have to pay interest on a Sharia? Well, then we should all have Sharia mortgages then. How do the banks make money if there's no interest? That's how they make money, on the money that they loan you. Okay, Sharia law prohibits the paying or earning of interest, a restriction that has led some banks to offer special mortgages for devout Muslims like El Said, which tack onto the principal what a typical borrower would pay in interest across the life of the loan. I have no idea what that means. The young El Said's expression of lifelong devotion to Sharia law takes new meaning following his narrow primary victory. El Said has played it goes into some of that. Let me see here. Well, it goes on a bunch of stuff we already know about him. But he, in 2009, he was a devout, said he would support and live by Sharia law until the day that he dies. Is that what you want in the United States Senate? Is it even appropriate in the United States Senate? That is very frightening. You know, I was talking yesterday how they're putting these Islamic foot washes at the Dallas-Fort Worth airport. What is that about? I don't even know what that, I mean, I'm not talking about the idea of putting this Muslim thing in there. I'm talking about why are they so into feet washing? I don't know. You know, do their feet get that? I don't know what that's all about or what's going on there. But I do know this, that he is a very bad guy. Not only is he a very bad guy, as we get closer and closer and closer to the election, more and more is going to come out about this guy, okay? And the more that comes out about him, the more you're going to hear that is not good. And I think that scares the living daylights out of people. Now, I want to play this clip of Curtis Sliwa. I mean, I couldn't even believe this one. This is, what's going on here is crazy. Let me, okay, good, okay. We're going to cue it up here. Okay, now, Curtis Sliwa, you ever heard that thing, don't meet your heroes? When I was growing up, even though I'm not from New York, Curtis Sliwa was one of the coolest, baddest dudes in America. And he was up there with, what was the sheriff's name? Sheriff Pusser from the Walking Tall Sheriff, although the real story is nothing like the movie. I know he killed his wife. I know the whole story. Or, you know, what Curtis Sliwa was when I was a kid, this is a reference. You won't know who this is, Mike, but you guys will know. He was a real-life Billy Jack kind of guy, right? And there was so much going on in New York. I mean, you know, I remember the first time I went to New York, I was scared out of my mind, especially when I got on the subway. It was scary. I felt like I was inside the Warriors movie, okay, on the subway. It was really scary. And then I went back another time, and it was like Disney World, you know? And, you know, that was because of Mayor Giuliani. And when the crime was high, you know, Steve Kane was in New York with his wife. She got her necklace ripped off her neck on the streets. The cops wouldn't go after him in the crowd. They were scared. That's how it used to be in New York. It was scary until Giuliani came around, and then you had people like Curtis Sliwa and Bernie Goetz, and they were saying that they're going to do this. We're going to take control of the city. And he was a tough guy. And now you see Curtis Sliwa. You know, did you see him in the Gay Pride Parade a couple weeks ago? Oh, my goodness. But he was asked by reporters about Mamdani attending the 25th anniversary of 9/11. Let me play this for you. This guy, I've lost all respect for Curtis Sliwa. He is a hack. And I just wonder, was he always this way? Listen to this. This is Curtis Sliwa. And this is yesterday.
Ridiculous. He's the mayor. Stop being sore losers. You knew this is Zoran Mandami. He was never a fake, phony, fraudulent fugazi like a lot of politicians. He told you who he was. Once he got elected, you should have known he was going to be there at 9/11. Now, if you choose to turn your back on him, then I don't want to ever tell family members what they should be doing on this holiday. That's your, not holiday, but this solemn occasion. That's your choice. But I believe you respect the office. He's the mayor. He's representing the city. Unlike what my former friend, Sid Rosenberg, did with Cuomo, that I think stopped him dead in his tracks. It was 10 days before the election when they were joking around about what would happen in Mondami with a mayor on the occasion of 9/11. You know, do you think that there'd be another 9/11? And Cuomo ended up laughing along with that shot. I think when you did internal polls, as we did, that really hurt him because he was gaining momentum. Remember, don't vote for Sliwa, a vote for Sliwa's a vote for Mondami. He was gaining traction, and then he made that stupid remark, and then didn't handle it well, and then Zoran exploited the hell out of it, as he should. That was Islamophobic.
No, yeah, it's Islamophobic. Yeah, right. Yeah. How about America-phobic? How about New York-phobic? You know, and then Curtis Lee was. When did Curtis Lee was stop like defending New York City? He says that Zohan represents the city. Do you really believe that? Is he representative of the city? I know he got elected on a lark, in part because of Curtis Sliwa, who used to be a great person that was respected by me at least. You know, a lot of people used to make fun of him because of the funny clothes. I thought it was cool that he wore the red satin jacket of the break. When I was a kid, satin jackets were in for a while, you know. But this is really a scary time we're in because what's happening here is they are trying to absorb the United States into their ways. It's like the Borg. You know, we're talking about a Trojan horse. It's the Trojan horse. It's the Borg. We are being assimilated, or at least they're attempting to. All right, now if you're on hold, stand by. Today is Friday, and of course Friday is open phones on the program, Open MAGA Mike Friday. You are welcome to call in about any and everything on your mind on Friday's show. You don't even have to comment on the things I bring up. The other 4 days of the week you do, but on Friday the show prep is up to you. You can call in about any and everything you want on Fridays. If you'd like to call in, the number's toll free, no matter where you're listening, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll take a quick break and be right back.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're gonna really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. From the All-Year Cooling Weather Center, South Florida's #1 choice for same-day AC service and installation. Here's your oldies forecast.
Heat advisory is in effect today from 11 a.m. until 7 p.m. Expect a high temperature of 91 degrees and partly cloudy skies with just a slight chance of rain. For the weekend, sunshine both Saturday and Sunday, plenty of heat, a high between 91 and 93, no mention of rain in the forecast.
Weather brought to you by All Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your service today. And remember, the All Year family is here to serve your family all year long. And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Powerline Road at Glades Road. Emergency vehicles are on the scene of a crash. There's an accident Lantana Road at Pine Needle Lane. A wreck Jog Road south of Yamato Road. Spot something on the roads, call the traffic tip line, pound 250 keyword westbound traffic. I'm Ron Hersey.
Action Traffic brought to you by PBKC. More sun, more fun, and more winning this August at PBKC's Poker Room. The action never stops with high hands every 15 minutes every day from 9 a.m. to midnight. A $15,000 cash giveaway and $100,000 progressive weekends. Then hit our exciting table games, including Ultimate Texas Hold'em and 3-card poker with just a $5 minimum bet all day, every day. And don't miss our exciting daily tournaments, plus the great charity poker event this Sunday. Get all the deets at pbkennelclub.com.
Gold smashing past $5,000 an ounce and silver hitting historic highs, the resource sector is absolutely electric. Get the real story behind the charts. Catch the Ellis Martin Report, 9:30 a.m. weekdays, right here on South Florida's True Oldies channel.
You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Sandra. I'm calling from Delray Beach. The Barry Siegel Law Group did such wonderful work for me, and I'm very particular. I'm a professional myself, and I went to about 3 or 4 attorneys prior. They wanted to do what they wanted to do. They didn't want to add anything extra, but Barry tailored it to my needs. And it's not only the trust. There's so many other end-of-life documents, the living will, the will, and I tailored each one of them to my liking, and they were wonderful and always, always polite. And not only that, feel the Siegel Group is above and beyond any other attorney that I have ever contacted. Plus, they give you a big portfolio at the end with a leather-bound documents. It's beautiful.
Give the Siegel Law Group a call, 855-FLA-3782, 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 49 years on the air.
All right, we're back. It is Friday. If you're on hold, stand by. The number is 888-465-2631. So I think Curtis Lee was said that if you don't approve of Mamdani at the 25th anniversary of 9/11, I think he said you're that's Islamophobic, he says. Isn't that wonderful? What was it called when they knocked down those buildings, Curtis Lee? What do you call that? Ahmed in Michigan has pledged his lifetime loyalty to Sharia law until the day he dies. And his sister, now I may have to dump some of the sister. She's got a potty mouth. In fact, most of the clips I have of the sister, she's a college professor. I can't even begin to play. I could put bleeps in it, but then all I would you guys would think we were running a test of the emergency broadcast system. I mean, she's got the mouth of Hassan Piker. She likes the F word. She's big on the F word. But just play a little bit of this first clip. This is Hassan Piker's sister.
Hi, my name is Iman Abdelhadi. I'm a member of the American Sociological Association, and I'm voting yes on the resolution for justice in Palestine.
As a Palestinian. So here's my question. If Ahmad's sister is a Palestinian, does that mean he's a Palestinian? And by the way, they have the same parents. So, yeah.
I'm a member of the American Sociological Association, and I'm voting yes on the resolution for justice in Palestine. As a Palestinian, these have been some of the hardest months of my life, but I find great solace in the fact that I reside in a discipline that calls for justice.
She's talking about Islam.
That sees inequality, and I hope that my fellow ASA members apply that same logic to Palestinians. It's time for us to stand up against the genocide and do the bare minimum by calling for a ceasefire.
Okay, so she is a Palestinian. Ahmed's sister said she's a Palestinian. So does that mean she's an American? You know, I have sisters. That's true. I have brothers and sisters. And we're all American. So if one of them says they're an American, yeah, I'm an American too. They're not running around saying they're Palestinians. We're in a new world, man. We're in a new world, and it has to be exposed. All right, let's take some calls. Now, again, it is Open MAGA Mike Friday, open phones on Friday. You're welcome to call in about any and everything on your mind. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. Jeff from Maine.
Hey, Jeff, what's up?
Yeah, that Curtis, so what? He never had a chance. He was mad because Trump wouldn't endorse him. And he's part of the reason Madami won. And then he wants to blame New Yorkers for voting for him. I like the guy when he was with that organization that went after Antifa, but that he should have stuck with that. That's all he was good for.
Yeah, I know. I mean, he's and what was he doing, Curtis Lee, in that gay pride parade? Oh. Yeah. Dancing on a gay float.
He's just showing his true colors now. You know, he wasn't from New York. I got it. He's like Tucker, Candace, Owens, all of those that left MAGA to gain more followers to get. It was about them, not about the country.
Yeah, exactly.
That mentality, I believe, Brian.
Exactly. All right. Well, I'm going to call these people out because what really ticks me off is when I'm watching the news and they're talking about Abdul, and they talk about him like he's a regular Democrat. Oh well, he talked about defunding the police and this and that. That's the least of his problems. Okay, and they ignore the elephant in the room.
Well, midterms is coming up pretty quick, and I believe we need to talk to every friend, everybody we know, and get out to vote. The next election is always the most important. So these midterms, we need to focus on that, and that's why I come here. Every state probably has someone listening from them here, and we need to tell people, listen, this so important. Let's get out the vote. Let's call our congressmen and congresswomen and tell them to pass the Save America Act.
Yeah.
We can do our part, and that's doing what we're doing, Brian, and I thank God for you, Brian.
All right, Jeff from Maine. Take care. Take care. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, yeah. What's up?
Good morning to you, too.
The thing about
Good morning, Brian.
Ahmed... It's fine. Go ahead, Doc. What's on your mind?
Hey, do you have, I'm just calling, you said the guy, he was at a vape pride parade. You have a problem with gay people?
Curtis Sliwa, who is calling himself a lifelong Republican all these years, was dancing like he was at a Pet Shop Boys concert on a gay pride parade. It's out of character and a little weird.
You have a problem with gay people?
The Secretary of Treasury is gay.
So why would you care, Brian? You be dancing at a
Because conservatives don't dance on gay floats and gay pride parades. That's a sign you're not a conservative.
Midterms is coming up pretty quick, and, you know,
Whatever, Doc. Yeah, I'm getting bored with you. Do you have anything constructive to say?
One more thing. I think the way press secretary, not press secretary, I think the reason she resigned because her husband told her to resign because Trump put her on that plane. He could have had her killed. I think her husband told her to get out. Done.
You know, you are... do you enjoy calling this program?
I just called, Brian. I love calling your program.
Okay. All right. Well, don't abuse the privilege that I allow you to have.
So what did I say wrong, Brian?
Everything you say is wrong. But you've got to have a certain level of respect, like I show for you, no matter how idiotic you may sound.
You don't respect me. So what did I say, Brian? Because I said her husband told her to
When you don't even, you're trying to gaslight me. Like yesterday, you told me to shut my mouth, and then you said I didn't say that. You just mocked me a moment ago, after you said that about Caroline Levitt. You said you were mocking the word that I said. You stop that. I'm not going to put up with that.
What are you talking about?
See what I mean? This constant gaslighting.
What are you saying, Brian?
Do you? What I would do if I were you is play the part of the show back with your calls. You probably do it anyway because you want to see how good you sound according to you and your twisted mind.
I'm serious, Brian. How do I make you? All I'm saying is I just said one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I just said one thing. So what's wrong with me saying that her husband maybe won't have a
Caroline Levitt has just had a baby. She has 2 children. Now her husband is a billionaire, right? He's a very successful man, and I'm sure she can have nannies and everything. But she's in her 20s, and she wants to be home with her baby all the time instead of working 90 hours a week. Maybe that's your fantasy. Not agree. You just live in this fantasy world. Well, no, I do know because that's what she said. I do know. I do know because Caroline Levitt said why she was leaving, because she just had a baby. Also, you think she's a liar? You think Caroline Levitt's a liar?
Brian, let me explain something to you. I notice your calling sometimes. I'm not listening to what I'm waiting on you. Anybody that agree with you, you talk to them nice. Anybody that don't agree with you, you call them, you talk to them nasty. Because I may not agree with you, but we can have a civil conversation.
But you're not civil.
I am civil. How you say because I don't agree with you? We can have a civil
No.
conversation.
You tell me to shut up. You make fun of the way I talk. You told me to shut my mouth yesterday. I went back actually before the show today. I said, you know what? I'm going to go back and I went back and you said shut your mouth.
What did you call and say yesterday? Because when I hung up with you,
There. Believe it or not, and this shocks me. There are some people who call this show that don't like me, and whenever I'm in conflict, I'll give you an example like that mask lady that calls in. She hates me like poison, right? So anytime I have a conflict with a caller, she calls in and sides with that caller. Not that she supports the caller, she just hates me. So some guy that doesn't like me, one guy said that you didn't say what you did say. I went back and listened to the call, and you said it. Go listen, you guys go to my YouTube channel. You play back yesterday's show, and you decide. Doc said, "Shut your mouth," and then you said you didn't even say anything.
I think you're a good person. Man, you can have. I don't rank you.
All right, listen, I gotta run. I'm wasting time here. Oh boy, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? There we go. Okay. Oh, first dump of the day, and 42 minutes into the show. It's pretty good. Pretty good. I was wondering if we were gonna use that, and you know, it's right there. See, this is the thing. The dump button. See, this is not a time for a Dr. Appleton spot, but when I use the dump button, it was my index finger. This is so true. That's the index finger that I had the arthritis in, and it's the one that I use with the dump button. And basically, all I've done my whole life at different radio stations is push buttons. But the dump button with the index finger, the right index finger, is obviously the one I've used the most and pushed the hardest. And over the years, it gave me arthritis. So all of you creepy callers over the years, maybe you could take some satisfaction that I was suffering with arthritis pain until Dr. Appleton rid it of. Every time I hit the dump button, I think of Dr. Appleton and the arthritis I used to have. In fact, it was so bad, I was using my middle finger, which might even be more appropriate for the dump button. From time to time, but the arthritis is completely gone and is not returned. Even though this was not time for a Dr. Appleton spot, I want to tell you, since I will give you his number. Appointments are not necessary. Walk-ins are welcome, even on Saturdays. But I've talked to many other listeners, some on our cruises, that have gone to Dr. Appleton and have been rid of arthritis in other parts of their bodies, knees, necks, all kinds. People have arthritis, hips, all over the place, back. Give Dr. Appleton a call and say bye-bye to your pain, too. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. We'll be right back.
Hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
When you need lab work, don't waste hours and hours waiting at the doctor's office.
It's the one that I use with the dump button. AppletonCairo.com. Maybe callers over. First dump of the day, and 42 minutes. What was that? It's pretty good. No, it doesn't like me. One guy. Did something fall? You didn't say. What happened? But you're not civil. Oh, the desk? Didn't rip any wires out? No. I'm just checking the audio with that. You tell me to shut up. You make fun of the way I talk. You told me to shut my mouth yesterday.
I didn't.
Okay. I went. You guys get behind the scenes. I was just checking the audio.
Dining at Cafe Chardonnay turns any ordinary evening into a special occasion. For over 30 years, owners Frank and Ginger have created a restaurant with a unique atmosphere, elegant yet warm and friendly. Cafe Chardonnay features today's freshest local farm produce.
Melissa, thank you for the super chat. Thank you so much.
Partners with nearby farmers, ranchers,
The audio's fine.
provide the highest quality ingredients, and Chef Frank's talent combines these fresh ingredients.
WKRP is awesome.
Exciting dishes. Make every evening a celebration at Cafe Chardonnay, located in Palm Beach Gardens on the corner of PGA Boulevard and Military Trail. Call 561-627-2662, 561-627-2662, online at cafechardonnay.com. And be sure to enjoy a glass of wine from Cafe Chardonnay's legendary wine cellar.
Open enrollment may be over, but that doesn't mean your Medicare questions are. If you're turning 65, new to Medicare, moving, or qualifying for a special enrollment period, you may still have options. Don't guess when it comes to your healthcare coverage. Call Debbie at I Will Advisors at 954-753-8080. That's 954-753-8080. She'll walk you through your Medicare Advantage, your supplements, and your prescription drug plans. Then help you find coverage that fits your needs and your budget. You don't have to figure this out alone. Call Debbie today at 954.
Well, luckily it wasn't the board that fell or did not got any wires.
753-8080.
Not so fun.
No.
Help you with your Medicare no
Almost
matter
hit my
where you're
foot too
located
because I
in the
was moved
state
back.
of Florida.
Yeah, I heard that. It felt like, I was like, what is that?
954-753-8080. I Will Advisors, helping you make Medicare simple.
Do you suffer from neuropathy? I did, until I went to Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano. Numbness, pain, burning, tingling in my hands and feet, muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching, and all of it disappeared. Say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. Call Lighthouse Medical Center for a free consultation. 754-222-6642.
When it comes to dental work, there's no one better than Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. This is Richie the bus driver.
Yeah, this is Richie, Dr. Gupta. I go 139 miles to this guy. I had a broken tooth. He fixed it. It was supposed to be temporary. It lasted 2 years. He put dentures in my mouth that are a lot cheaper than anybody else. And he's excellent and no pain. I recommend this guy. To me, he's the best ever.
Go see Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, the phone's lighting up. There's 2 openings on the board at 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? All right, Jay in Kentucky.
Yes, I'm calling in. I'm concerned about Abdul. He was very radical and too extreme.
Mm-hmm.
And he would almost be un-American. I mean, he is wanting everyone to have access to health care. He doesn't want any children to go to bed.
Oh, wait a second. Slow down a second here. Hold on a second. You said something really interesting there. You said Americans don't have access to health care. So if I walk out of this building and get hit by a car and I'm unconscious, and by the way, I do not have health insurance, what would happen to me? Would I just be laying out there to die? What would happen? And then what? And I have no insurance. Okay, so there is, hold on a second. So I have no health insurance. By the way, that's true. I've been talking about this for years. I have no health insurance. Okay, I am self-insured. So I get hit by a car, I'm unconscious, they take me to the emergency room and they give me medical care. Well, I thought you said people don't have medical care that aren't insured. How does that happen? No, in fact, I had a bad accident on my skateboard a number of years ago. This was not the last one where this was before I knew Dr. Appleton. I was live streaming like an idiot on YouTube while I was skateboarding down my street, and I was reading the chat, and I lost my coordination with my feet. And I fell off the skateboard pretty bad. I had to go to the emergency room. I told them I didn't have insurance. And they said, okay, we'll sign you up for Medicaid. I said, oh, I'm not going to qualify. They said, yeah, you will. They asked me 2 questions. They said, you're right, you don't qualify. If I was poor, I would have had Medicaid right there on the spot in the ER. Poor people get taken care of. Absolutely you will. Absolutely you will. Sure. Well, no, what happened, yes. What happens is, you hit on it a few minutes ago, okay? When I went to the emergency room for in my skateboard accident, right? They did x-rays. I saw a doctor. They treated me. They did multiple x-rays. And I didn't have insurance. I didn't qualify for Medicaid. So what happened? What do you think happened? And then what happened? I got a bill, and then what happened? You think I had to file for bankruptcy over a visit? No, I paid it. I paid it. Well, why would you get a $10,000? Why would I get a $10,000 bill going to the ER for a skateboarding accident? Well, what you're talking about is when I told them that I didn't when I told them I didn't have health insurance, the bill changed. It went from $5,000 to $1,200. See, they overcharge and overbill and do unnecessary treatments when you have Medicare or Medicaid or insurance. When they found out I didn't have insurance and I didn't qualify for Medicaid, all of a sudden I didn't need that MRI or whatever they were going to do and those other things. It was $1,200.
Well, maybe I should drop my insurance because I had some MRI.
Maybe.
I had to pay $2,000.
Oh my goodness.
What my insurance, and I have insurance, and what my insurance didn't cover. This past year, I've been billed for like over $3,000.
Oh my goodness. Are you telling me you're a grown man whining that you have to pay for your own way through life? That's crazy.
I know it's crazy if they send me a $20,000 hospital bill. And I don't just
What this is what happens when you don't have insurance, and you what?
I make 6 figures a year. I'm not a single mother.
You make 6 figures a year?
3 jobs.
Well, you must not make then why are you broke? If you make 6 figures yeah, you said if you went to the ER like I did for a skateboard accident, you'd have to file bankruptcy. So you must not manage your money well.
No, I said I would have. If they send me a $20,000 bill, I'm not going to.
Let me give you a secret. When they find out, this is what happens. When they find out you don't have insurance and you don't qualify for Medicaid, like they found out with me, not only do they reduce the bill, you can negotiate even a lower bill. And I negotiated my bill down to $1,200. They wanted a little bit more, and I said it's too much, and they negotiated it down to $1,200. I probably could have gone lower, but I was busy. So you just have to be a man and negotiate a lower thing, and you pay what you can pay when you can, like anything else. But no one is denied health care in this country. That's a liberal urban legend.
So what you're saying is I should drop my insurance.
I'm not telling you to drop your insurance. I don't have insurance by choice. I could get insurance if I wanted it. I can afford it, but I don't. It's a waste of money.
So here's how it works with insurance. You go to the hospital, they send the bill to the insurance company.
Now, here's how it works. Here's how it works for insurance. I'm a healthy guy. I don't need to go to the doctor. I pay and pay and pay, so guys like you can spend their free time going to the doctor and having unnecessary treatment and test because you got nothing else to do. That's how it works. So tell me. So you were calling me about how great Ahmed is, who said his life is dedicated to Sharia law until the day he dies. Tell me the greatness of Ahmed. He told that to the New York Times. No, I did not misquote him. He said that in the New York Times. I got the article. I read through it earlier. That is true. I'm not misunderstanding. So that would be a problem for you. If him saying that he will follow Sharia law until the day he dies, you don't believe he said that. So it is a problem. It's a problem. Do you want people in the government who are dedicated to supporting Sharia law?
I'm not going to agree with everybody on everything, but again, I don't believe that doctors say supports.
He's not a doctor. He does not have a medical license. He does not have a license to practice medicine.
Well, everywhere I look online, it says the Mexican doctor.
He went to medical school, but he never got a license to practice.
So, like John Gordon, he got a law degree, but he never passed law.
But you don't go around calling him an attorney. I have a college degree with a major in history and education, right? Because I went to school, I studied history and also got a degree to be a school teacher. Does that mean I'm a school teacher? I don't have my certification. I used to, right? When I got it when I graduated college, I went and got my teacher certification, never used it. I don't have a teacher's certificate, but I have a degree in history and education. Does that mean I'm a teacher? Am I a school teacher? It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Yes, I'm against all income. Yes, I'm against all taxes, all income taxes. Yes. Do you know, well, the first thing we would do is we would clean up the Somali pirates of Minneapolis that are stealing billions every year in Medicaid and Medicare funding, since you're obsessed with that issue. That would be a part of it. Do you know that Abdul has 4 houses on 3 continents? He has 2 in Michigan, 1 in India, and the other one in the Middle East. Why does he? I mean, if he's about if he's combating if he is about ending wealth inequality, why does he have 4 houses on 3 continents? That doesn't sound like a socialist to me. That sounds like a rich guy. Rick Scott's awesome. Rick Scott's awesome. No, we're not talking. Why talk about Rick Scott? He's not running for office. You've got a guy who no. You're not going to pivot to that. You're not going to pivot to that. You've got a guy here. I didn't bring up Rick Scott. I didn't bring up Rick Scott. You have a guy. Ahmed, who's dedicated his life, he says, until the day he dies, to Sharia law. He says he's a Democrat socialist who hates evil rich people, but he owns 4 houses on 3 continents, which means he's a fraud. He's rich. He's a millionaire. He's a multimillionaire. Do you think there's a conflict? Is there a conflict between being a multimillionaire and a socialist fighting against wealth inequality? No, you said, how are we going to pay for things without taxes? And I said the first thing I would do would be to end the fraud. Listen, I appreciate the call. I got to run for a break, but call me again sometime. You're a halfway decent caller, all right? Take care. See what I mean? Kentucky's a messed up place, the bluegrass state. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. There's 2 openings on the board. There was 1, now there's 2 openings on the board. It is Open MAGA Mike Friday. You're welcome to call in about any and everything on your mind on Friday's show. The number is toll-free, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. And remember, on Open MAGA Mike Friday, open phones, you can call in about any and everything on your mind. You're not limited to the topics I bring up. You don't even have to address the stories I bring up. The show prep is up to you and the listening audience. And so far, kind of good. That last caller was pretty good. All opinions are welcome. And I very much enjoy talking to liberals like that guy. Okay? The number 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. My name is Brian Craig. We'll take our break for the top of the hour, come back with your calls and much more right after our top of the hour break. Back after this. Are you still firing the commercials at the other radio station, or is it just simulcasted?
No, I still fire the commercials.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just press that button. I have a button in here as well.
Okay.
I just press it, everything except the top of the hour.
Oh, okay.
Also,
Yeah.
Slightly behind us.
Yeah, you were telling me that last time. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, they're using, I think, satellite.
They're connecting to us through the satellite. Also, there's a delay. Like how long?
Like, I want to say like 10, 15 seconds.
So what do you do?
So, everything is fine. I haven't heard anything otherwise except the end of the show, so I put a music bed after you finish, so they wrap up.
Well, I can finish early at the end. 10 seconds early or something.
If you want to do that, I was going to
If it's easier.
I don't don't know. It's been working otherwise.
Okay.
Like Craig hasn't said it. Like I've been doing it since, and Craig just.
But during the regular breaks, it's fine?
Oh yeah.
I don't understand how that works.
I don't get it either. I think they have their own commercials too.
Yes.
So I think they just. I never knew exactly.
Do you tell him how long the commercial breaks are?
Oh, they just.
Huh.
That's what I'm so confused about. Is how's that all work?
I have no idea. Yeah. We're on a bunch of new radio stations, and I was just, I don't know, like 12 or something, and I was talking to him, Mike, about how he coordinates with the board op. There's a main board op at one of the other radio stations. I was talking about how he coordinates with him. I don't know, like 12. Now, here's how it works. Here's how. Oh my goodness. Okay. All righty, we are back. I'm Brian, Steve Kane Show. All right, I'll go back to the phones, which I think we started off on Open MAGA Mike Friday. I think we're doing pretty good so far. We've used the dump button once. The last caller, while misguided, brought up some interesting things. If that guy listens long enough, he'll be MAGA, in 6 months. Right? Maybe less. We'll find out. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Robert, I'm calling from Texas.
Hey, Robert, what's up? I'm not familiar with the case.
Oh, okay. So an attorney in Waco, Texas, was charged with continuous sexual abuse of a child. This is a first-degree felony.
Yeah.
Carries up to life in prison.
Absolutely.
The judge recused himself of conflict of interest, and Paxton personally stepped in
And did what?
Negotiated a plea deal down to a misdemeanor, a class A
Mm.
misdemeanor. 60 days in jail, but he was let out in 30 days.
I don't know anything about it. That case, you know, maybe I'll look it up later.
Yeah, check it out.
But I'm sure. Excuse, yeah. Who you get? No, I don't know. No. Slow down for a second. First off, I'm confused. So, are you telling me that Ken Paxton supports sexual abuse of children? I'm trying to, other than just throwing some spaghetti and slander at the wall, I'm trying to understand what the main idea and the purpose of that was.
Purpose of what?
You heard me. You heard everything I said.
Purpose of bringing it up?
No, I asked something before that. You've had plenty of time to think of an answer by now. I'll ask you again. Oh my goodness. You remember the Menendez brothers when they were on trial? They took the stand and they would be asked questions by the prosecution. They always asked her to repeat the question so that they had time to think of an answer. You've had like forever. I said, this story you brought up that I am not familiar with about Ken Paxton, are you saying that Ken Paxton supports the sexual abuse of children? I'm trying to figure out the purpose of that.
No, I don't.
So then why'd you bring up the story that I've never heard of before? What was the point of that?
Because you never heard of it. That's why I brought it up.
Come on, now you're being like Doc. You're just lying. I mean, come on. You didn't.
You never brought it up in any of all this.
Well, I'm not in Texas. I'm in Florida, and I cover national politics. I don't know every little story in the local news in the individual states.
It made national news.
Yeah. So what are you suggesting? You're obviously implying Paxton did something wrong or corrupt.
Maybe it was unethical or maybe a little bit immoral.
What part of it? What? Tell me more about the case so I can look it up.
So he stepped in.
Well, give me the name of the guy that was in trouble. You followed the case closely. I'll look it up and I'll read up on it. Not right now while we're talking, but I'll look it up real quick and look at it later. Adam Dean Hoffman. Okay. Yeah.
All those surrounding the case were connected to the university.
Okay, I'll look it up.
I just thought it was interesting. Yeah. Yeah, interesting. You talked about SCREEN law earlier.
Sure.
Christian law in Texas.
What do you mean?
Texas has something called the blue law.
Yes.
Based on religious beliefs.
We used to have them and the blue laws, we used to have them in Florida, and they were awesome. You couldn't sell alcohol on Sundays till a certain time, and I remember in Texas, you couldn't sell cars on Sunday at car dealerships or something.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, they kind of changed that to 1 day a week, so maybe you can sell them on Sunday, but you can only show them on Monday.
But see, the United States is a Christian country, not a Muslim country. And many places around the country may have, blue laws are still in effect in some parts of the country. I haven't heard anybody talk about blue laws in a long time and haven't thought about them in a while. But that's our culture. Our society is a Christian culture and society, not Muslim one. There's a big difference. Like, do you agree with that?
No.
You don't agree with what?
I don't agree that it's a Christian nation.
It is a Christian nation founded by Christians and on Christian principles. Under the Constitution, under our Constitution, calm down. Under our Constitution, who gives us our rights under the Constitution of the United States? Hello? McFly? You there? Here goes the cell phone problems. I love this. I'm not hanging up on him yet. This guy's good. And he's starting to hyperventilate. He's getting nervous. All right, okay, are you there? I can hear you breathing, man. I can hear the hum in your car. I can hear you breathing. Why are you just sitting there pretending you can't hear me? I mean, isn't this pathetic? I mean, I'm not even hardly doing anything. I'm just, I can even hear myself on the speaker in his car. He just turned up the volume of whatever he's listening to me on. I just heard myself on delay in the background. Is this your cowardly way out? I thought Texans were tough. Now it went silent. Now he's being quiet, so I can't hear him. He's supposed to be holding his breath. All right, listen, I'm going to give you your wish and let you go. That was really pathetic. Watch, he's going to call back and say he couldn't hear me. All right. Oh, boy. Okay, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning, Brian. I'm Chris from Pamela.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, it was a great show Friday already.
Yes.
Your last couple of callers really kind of came to what I wanted to discuss. Of course, the undoing of America. Now, this has been going on for pretty much since the United States of America has started. But if the average person, and I'll say Democrats, just can't see this undoing, they're delusional because you have, let's take the brother and sister. You have one claiming Sharia law, and if you look at the Sharia law, I mean, anyone from LGBT in America should know that, that's not good for this country and what we stand for.
Yeah.
And secondly, his sister, with the potty mouth, she is indoctrinating yet another college, young mush brains, easy to manipulate, and talking about her dedication to Palestine.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, and what is this voting on all this other stuff here in America? They're putting stuff on a ballot?
Well, Abdul's sister said she's Palestinian. They have the same parents. So if she's Palestinian, doesn't that mean that Abdul is Palestinian?
100%. I mean, so he's doubling down on the Sharia. Well, she put him under the bus a little bit, but we all knew that with his dedication to Palestine. So if there's any questions on Sharia law, I mean, now he's also Palestinian. So she let that cat out of the bag. But,
Mm-hmm.
come on, guys. And then, your caller, you're stating fact after fact. I find opinion fact and true, and they're totally ignoring, denying. By the way, Brian, I listened to the show during that time, and that guy, I refuse to believe he's even a guy. That was more like a woman.
Which one?
That Doc, whatever.
Oh, Doc from Texas, yes.
The one that told you to shut up. 100%. I listened to it live, up close and personal.
Yeah.
And the guy, he totally made a point. He's like, so shut up.
He said, shut your mouth. Shut your mouth, he said. Shut your mouth. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's laughable. You're saying fact after fact, truth after truth, and they want to move on to something else and not acknowledge that. That is about as un-American.
Have you how long have you lived in Florida?
I've lived in Florida since '95.
Oh, okay. So you don't go. We used to have these blue laws in Florida. Publix used to be closed on Sundays, like Hobby Lobby. They were closed on Sundays. I remember when. Does anyone remember when Publix was closed on Sundays? And you couldn't. Yeah. And that was a good thing. Yeah. I miss those days. Yeah. Yeah, dry counties. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. Well, the point I was making with that guy, we're given our rights by God, and the founding fathers were Christian. It was the God that sent Jesus, okay, to die on the cross and be born again. It wasn't Mohammed or Buddha or L. Ron Hubbard or whoever else, right? Yeah.
But hey, these guys don't want to take that right away too. They want to force you to not be whatever.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, listen, Chris, I got to run for a break, but good call, good call. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. I want to talk about Sloman Central Air Conditioning. You know, a couple years ago, I had to buy a new air conditioning system, and I mean, every time you hear me talk about Sloman's, I wish I would have known about Sloman's then. I didn't know about Sloman's then, and Sloman Central Air Conditioning. The offer that they are giving you here on an air conditioning system, this is the most incredible deal I've ever heard on an AC unit for your home. It really is. Listen to this. Sloman Central Air Conditioning is offering a 5-ton 18-SEER system that uses R454B refrigerant for just $59.99 with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 18 months. That's a year and a half. That's amazing. It also comes with a 5-year bumper-to-bumper service plan, including annual system maintenance, filter replacement, and refrigerant, so you don't have any annual maintenance cost. And you'll also receive the Sloman Shield home security system installed with 5 years of professional central station monitoring included in your AC package. This is an amazing deal. Give them a call, 561-217-COOL. That's COOL. 561-217-COOL. 561-217-COOL. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Cool. 561.
Long earlier. What's a Christian law in Texas?
What do you mean?
Position here on Pamela Beach for 40 years. We're open 6 days a week. If you have sciatica, you have bursitis, you have tendonitis, you're tired of taking the pills, the drugs, the injections, and you heard that you have to live with it, well, there's a lot of times you don't have to live with it. I've had great success with helping people. My testimonials are marvelous with patients. They love the treatment. There's no injections. There's no medication. There's no surgery. There's none of that. It's strictly either the laser, the acupuncture I do, or shockwave therapy I do. Open 6 days a week. Come in for the free consultation and be willing to look at you and help you.
Take advantage of that no-charge consultation with Dr. Appleton. Remember, appointments are not necessary and walk-ins are welcome even on Saturdays. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com.
Hi, I'm Sonia. All year, we offer same-day AC service and installation. Need to stay cool? Yes, all year. Need help today? Yes, all year. 0 down financing? Yes, all year. We're South Florida's #1 for comfort because our family is serving your family all year. Call us today at 833-ALL-YEAR. That's 833-ALL-YEAR.
For a limited time, save up to 30% off new air conditioners and repairs with all-year cooling.
On the line is Jamie.
If you listen on my other stream, you can hear the callers fine, guys. You got to go to the other stream.
Missed the tax deadline on April 15th. Not only is it not too late for them to file, but they may have, with the new tax code, a huge refund coming that they're leaving on the table, right?
Absolutely, Brian. If you haven't filed your taxes and you've been avoiding it because you're worried about penalties or late fees, if you are anticipating a refund, give me a call. There's a good chance there is a substantial amount of money left on the table for you. Again, this is your money. You worked hard for it. Give me a call anytime. Jamie Leeback, Swift Tax.
Yeah, and remember, Jamie Leeback can help you with your taxes no matter where you are located in the United States. Give him a call right now, 954-773-1587. 954-773-1587.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
All righty, we're back. I'm Brian, Steve Kane Show. It is Open MAGA Mike Friday. Open phones. You can call in about any and everything on your mind today. Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hey, what's up? MAGA Martin County. What memories are those?
Well, I was born in 1960 down in South Miami. Sunday morning, we went to church, picked up my dad's mom and sister, brought them to the house for lunch, and then taking them home, which they lived off 8th Street.
Oh,
We would
Cayocho.
Coconut Grill, Miami Beach. There was not a gas station, not a grocery store.
No. It was like Christmas. It was like Christmas.
Yes, it was family day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was wonderful, and I sit and think of how many people, because of busy schedules and never eating dinner together, you know, the 60s in Miami was magic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was just a great time. And, you know, and I can remember if we were driving through Miami Beach, you know, to take my grandmother for a ride, my mother would start getting nervous and she'd, "Do you have enough gas?" Because there was no gas stations open.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. It was every Sunday was a holiday. And, you know, in Florida, when I first moved to Florida, it was kind of the end of that era when I was a kid. And it was very strange for me when things weren't open on Sunday. I couldn't understand it. Now, that caller from Texas, you know, they've been making moves to try to turn Texas blue to a Democrat state for years. And now they think they found a way to do it, and that's with the Muslims. And you hear these really, that caller, that liberal guy from Texas, is a collaborator. He's working with the enemies of the country to help bring down Texas. I mean, they're collaborators. That's it.
Yes, and you know, I think it was like when some immigrants came, and then they thought that they would have the monopoly because they would be open on Sundays. And then other stores said, "Geez, look at all, you know, they're open on Sundays, we're opening." And
Yeah. You know, and I remember when you couldn't sell cars on Sunday, I wouldn't be surprised if they bring that back. I mean, you know, people buy their cars on. They don't go to the dealers shopping like they used to. They do everything online, and then they go. The dealers would probably like to be closed on Sundays.
Right, and you know what it is? It's the Democrats. They find a little narrative to give the uneducated or indoctrinated kids that are growing up and not knowing their history, and then they get this little glimmer of free this, or, you know, I can make more money. Well, you didn't go to college and get a good degree. You should have gone to a trade program.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know, and then they give them false hope, and then they're voting the wrong way, and I wouldn't get early voting on it.
You know, I have not, and I guess I missed it. Is early voting still going on in Florida? I have not early voted. I was going to. I probably won't be able to today, but if I don't today, I'll vote on Tuesday. I'm very excited to vote because I'm looking forward to voting for Byron Donalds. I'm very excited.
I did. I was the first one in the door on Sunday morning. They opened up at 8. I had to wait 5 minutes to get in. But that's Martin County. I mean, you're in and out in 5 minutes.
You know, I'll tell you, you know, about Martin County. You know, we did an event a couple months ago at H2 Ocean. And Brian Mast was there speaking. I introduced Brian Mast. We did an event there, the radio station. And the sheriff of Martin County was there, and all these people, and everybody was so nice. And I was, and I live in Boca, and I was talking to my wife. I said, you know, my father-in-law lives in, and mother-in-law live in Stewart. So I do go up there from time to time, and I do like Stewart and everything, and it's very nice up there. But but everyone was so nice, and I'm talking to my wife about it, and she says because they're all Republicans, right? You know, she's like, we got all these Democrats where we live, and it's like, oh.
They're miserable.
Yes.
To the very side. I, in fact, in one of the presidential elections, I guess the last one, I wore my Trump hat to the voting poll. And when I came out, he was there, and I took a picture with him, and somebody said, "You can't wear that hat in the vote." And I'm like, "I sure did. I don't know, maybe we're rolling different up here." But I've taken a couple of pictures with him, because he's a good guy.
Well, I'll tell you this. When I vote, if you go on my YouTube channel, in the last midterms, I had a run-in with a morbidly obese campaign poll worker who didn't like me there with my MAGA hat and everything on. Stand your ground. You can, as a voter in Florida, wear your MAGA hat, wear your shirts, whatever you want to wear. The law is that the campaigns cannot campaign within a certain number of feet from the polling location, but I'm not with a campaign. You're not with a campaign. You can wear whatever the heck you want. Yeah, so don't let them tell you that you can't when you vote.
And there was a caller last week that said, oh, if you leave anything blank, it's some kind of incomplete ballot, and they can go after the elections and put in whatever. I asked one of the poll workers that, and they said that was an absolutely false statement. Once you place your ballot into that machine, your ballot's done. There is nobody.
Well, he was talking about Palm Beach County. You're in Martin County. I don't know, but it could be different. Yeah, it could be different. The only problem with Martin County, it's not big enough. It's a tiny county, and Martin County and St. Lucie County are the two most Republican MAGA counties in the state of Florida. And that's saying a lot because this is such a conservative state. All right, I appreciate the call. You take care. You too. All right, we'll take our break for the bottom. I've got a lot more to cover, and we'll certainly get into a lot more. The number is 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. I want to talk about Coastal Weight Loss Secret, the home of the metabolic reset. And, Dr. Zuckerman over at Coastal Weight Loss Secret has helped thousands of patients, just like me, and those of you that have gone there over the years, and he's learned a lot. And that is that lasting weight loss isn't about some fad diet. It's about improving your metabolism. And Dr. Zuckerman at Coastal Weight Loss Secret actually created and developed the metabolic reset, okay? And it's absolutely amazing. It works. That's why I have not gained back the weight that I lost, because Dr. Zuckerman at Coastal Weight Loss Secret reset my metabolism. And it's around the habits and strategies that actually produce results. I lost the weight, I've kept it off. That's what you want to do. Maybe you don't need another diet, you just have to have your metabolism reset. Give Coastal Weight Loss a secret. Remember, virtual appointments are available, so Coastal Weight Loss Secret can help you lose weight no matter where you are located, okay? Give them a call, 561-359-3418. 561-359-3418. That's 561-359-3418. And online, coastalweightlossSecret.com. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. You're gonna really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. From the All Year Cooling Weather Center, South Florida's #1 choice for same-day AC service and installation. Here's your oldies forecast.
Heat advisory is in effect today from 11 a.m. until 7 p.m. Expect a high temperature of 91 degrees and partly cloudy skies with just a slight chance of rain. For the weekend, sunshine both Saturday and Sunday, plenty of heat, a high between 91 and 93, no mention of rain in the forecast.
Weather brought to you by All Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your service today. And remember, the All Year family is here to serve your family all year long. And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Watch for emergency vehicles reportedly still on the scene of an earlier crash. It's a turnpike southbound before Point Beach Boulevard. On Atlantic Avenue, there's construction 441 to the turnpike. Spot something on the roads, call the traffic tip line. Now 250 keyword West Palm traffic. I'm Ron Herson.
That's your traffic brought to you by PBKC. More sun, more fun, and more winning this August at PBKC's Poker Group. The action never stops with high hands every 15 minutes, every day from 9 a.m. to midnight. A $15,000 cash giveaway and $100,000 progressive weekends. Then hit our exciting table games, including Ultimate Texas Hold'em and 3-card poker with just a $5 minimum bet all day, every day. And don't miss our exciting daily tournaments, plus the great charity poker event this Sunday.
trusted? That's thanks to Mike Liddell's MyPillow. With the MyPillow, I sleep comfortably and deeply each and every night. And right now, you can get the MyPillow for just $19.98 with our promo code KANE at checkout, KANE at MyPillow.com. Just $19.98, and you'll get the best night's sleep you've ever gotten. Promo code KANE, KANE at checkout at MyPillow.com. You can also order by phone toll-free 1-800-716-4879.
Hi, it's Dr. Philip Appleton. You've been hearing my commercials about my pain, my laser weight treatment, but today's commercial and today's spot is going to be on Tom Laporta Roofing. What an experience I've had with him and his company. They've done a few of my friends' houses and my son and my house. There's never a downtime. They're old school, which means call them up, they'll be there. How many times have you called somebody up and they never show up, or they give you an excuse? Weather, traffic, whatever. Tom Laporta, what a class act, the workmanship, the magnificent teamwork they have. I recommend them 100%.
Give Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing a call. This number rings directly to his cell phone, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. He covers both the east and west coast of Florida. 4602. LaportaRoofing.com. They'll never sell you a roof you don't need.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 49 years on the air.
All right, and we are back. It's time to check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning.
Good morning, Brian. How are you?
I'm doing well. What do you have for us today?
Well, we're all on the roads. We're all noticing some heavier traffic in the mornings. That's because of the school zone. School has started.
Oh.
At least here in Palm Beach County. And it's also time that a lot of people, a lot of young people are going on to college. A lot of people are just getting ready to leave pretty soon. And that's why I wanted to talk about our college starter kit this morning. And that is making sure that your kids or grandkids who just turned 18 have the right legal documents in place so the parents can still handle making decisions for them if necessary. So that means setting up a power of attorney. That means setting up healthcare surrogate designations, living wills, all the healthcare documents that are needed. Because when your child is under 18, you can make those decisions. You're the parent. You're the guardian. However, once they turn 18, that's no longer automatic. And that's why you need to have those documents I just described, power of attorney and all the healthcare documents in place so that the parents can be named, or whoever that person would choose, to make those decisions for them in case of an emergency. And that's why it's so important to make sure that they have these documents in place so that we're prepared just in case anything happens while they're away at school.
Oh, yeah. And I don't know, Barry, if you can add anything to make sure that you can take a look to make sure they're going to class. Can you do that? You know, exactly. Barry knows. But let me tell you, that is so important. And I've been in a situation or two with my daughter where she had to have some, I couldn't talk to the doctor. They won't tell you anything. And it happens, 18, that's it, you're out. And so it's very important things to do. Give the Siegel Law Group a call and schedule your no-charge in-office consultation, 855-FLA-3782, 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, we'll talk next week. All right, take care. You know that guy from Texas, I looked up that case he was talking about, and I've not done a deep dive, so as they say, because I was just reading a little bit during the break. He left out a key piece of information. They had a mistrial in that case due to a hung jury. They had a hung jury, and I don't know if the guy was guilty or innocent, but they couldn't come to a verdict, and the prosecutor didn't want to go to trial again because they were afraid of another hung jury. Okay, they were afraid they couldn't get a conviction. I don't know the details of it. I'm not defending the guy or Paxton in that, but the call, I'm showing you how dishonest these liberal callers are. You know, out there in Texas. He left out the whole part that the guy went to trial and they had a hung jury. The jury couldn't reach a verdict. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. What a great show, Brian. Nothing. You've had a lot of
That is true. That's true.
But here comes the, first of all, I want to make a comment. There was a time where Disney World was the only tourist destination in Florida, biggest, and that was before all the casinos opened up. And the reason I'm bringing that up is Las Vegas used to be called Sin City, and the country lost their religion, and now the whole country is Sin Country. It's not just Sin City anymore. We're all the deterioration of the American city and everything with the lack of religion in this country has shown to me it's been disgusting. I mean, the city, New York used to be safe to walk in the 50s. It used to be safe to walk the streets. People, if things were closed on Sunday, it was like Dentonville. People went to church. It was wonderful. Today, everyone does whatever they want, and there's chaos.
And those of you who went to school here in Florida, we used to pray in school. And nobody even thought about it. I told you the last time I remember that happening, I was in 7th grade in 1983 when the Iranians blew up the Marine barracks and Lebanon. And my principal was a Baptist minister here in Florida, and he said a prayer over the PA system during the morning announcements, followed by a moment of silence. And it was not some generic coexist prayer; it was a prayer to Jesus. And that's the last time I really remember that. Outside of like a football game, they would do prayers like before the football games and stuff. But things things were a lot better when we had the Bible in school.
100%. And
It still is.
Yes, everyone has the right to believe what they want. Just look at the dollar bill. God we trust. Now I'm gonna bring this up. The guy with the Texas, okay? You're going after Ken Paxton. He's not a perfect man. We all know that. The alternative is Dearborn, Michigan, Patterson, New Jersey. Just YouTube it. Anyone out there?
That's right.
Sharia law. First of all, they believe in Sharia law. They don't believe in the American law. And you just have to look at Dearborn, Michigan, and Patterson, Sharia. And the other thing is that they believe in the world. They believe in the world court. They don't believe in our court. Matter of fact, Democratic Party are saying that our Supreme Court is corrupted, so they want to.
Yeah.
So because the Supreme Court doesn't go along with their crazy ideas sometimes. Listen, no court is perfect, but this is the Supreme Court of our country. We're not.
Well, you know, you hear one of the liberal callers today. I pulled up this article that I found in the Free Beacon, and they did some research and found this interview from 2009 with Ahmed in Michigan, where he proclaimed his obligation to follow Sharia law until the day he dies. And then you hear what the guy said? Oh, you're misquoting him. He didn't even, you know, I mean, come on. No, that's what he told the New York Times.
Dearborn, Michigan, folks, and Patterson, New Jersey. I keep bringing it up because that's how America's going to be. And the people, and here's another thing that gets me crazy. We're going to tax the rich. Well, this guy in Michigan, by the way, when he went single payer, you know what single payer, they want, that's the government taking over health care, not private companies anymore. No private hospitals, government, everything is going to be the government. Have you ever seen the post office people? Have you ever seen how efficient it is? And millionaires, you can take the top 5% money-wise. If they gave all their income to this country, we'd still be in the hole.
Well, you know, here's the thing. All of the top Democrat socialists are all multimillionaires, right? All of them. Hassan Piker, Bernie Sanders, Ahmed with 4 houses on 3 continents, and AOC, who just broke up with her fiance that she's been with for 15 years, they're saying that he's got some Facebook job and she split because she's planning on running for president or vice president, and she doesn't want to have to do the financial disclosure of his money connected to her, and that was why they split. So I wonder if they really did split. They've been together since college, and I'm wondering if they really did split.
Well, she doesn't want to get into her personal life, but she shows her squeezing her legs on television, jabbing herself in the stomach.
Exactly.
They're so hypocritical, and Brian, it gets me because it's Ahmed in Michigan. The point I was going to bring about the single payer. He claimed, they said, well, if more taxes for health care. Now, in other words, they're going to jack your tax up like they did with Obamacare, and you're not going to have a voice in it. You just have to pay it, and everyone's going to be herded in like cattle. Yeah, I'd rather have private companies and private hospitals. I'm sorry.
Absolutely. Well, this is what happens. Okay, we see this a lot in Florida because we have the oldest population in the country, right? For senior citizens, a lot of senior citizens, they have two hobbies, going to the mall or going to the doctor. That's all they do because they got nothing else to do. They go to the doctor. They don't need to go to the doctor, but they go, and they rack up these bills. Exactly. They get all dressed up, they get their hair done, and they go to the doctor. You give all these bums, like these losers I was talking to today, like that idiot from Kentucky, all they'll do is go to the doctor every day because they got nothing else to do.
I was going to say to you, the problem is, and you said it, you told the guy to call back, he's an interesting caller. I look at these crazy liberals that don't do their homework as more dangerous than giving a little kid a 9mm. Because a little kid with a 9mm might take out a few people, but these people that vote in this country, and they don't own property, some of them are not legal in this country and they're still voting, they affect me, and they affect you and everybody else. So the vote is the most precious, the most important thing in this country, and yet they still say,
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to show your ID for a vote.
Exactly. Did you see this thing that James O'Keefe did yesterday? This was crazy. James O'Keefe, where was that at? Where was that? Was that Dearborn? Where did he do that at?
It might have been, but he was dressed like
He dressed up like a Muslim, and he got a bunch of his friends to dress up like Muslims. And apparently, in these liberal cities, not only do you not need ID or to be registered for to vote, you can bring people and vouch for them and say, "Oh, this is my friend. He can vote," and they let them vote. You could bring 5 people and just vouch for them. I never heard of such a thing.
in Minnesota. You want Somalis? Oh, here's the other thing I want to bring up. Who is the worst congresswoman in Congress who hates the country the most?
Ilhan Omar. Ilhan Omar.
She got 76% of the vote. But they're all the same.
And you know what they're doing, and they're doing a house to house searching for the 23% that didn't vote for, right? To send a message. Why was it so low? Why wasn't it 99%? Yeah.
Christianity. I can remember when John Kennedy was going to run, the big headlines in the newspaper were basically the word was he might be in cahoots with the Pope.
Was he? Well, the question was Senator Kennedy, if he became president, was he going to be loyal to the United States or to the Vatican? Because he was Catholic.
Now you got the Sharia, and they're actually more loyal to Sharia law than they are.
And they tell you this. All right, Richie, I got to run. If you're on hold, stand by. The number to call in is 888-465-2631. August is a time you really want to mark your calendar, guys, because August is National Wellness Month. And, of course, I'm talking about life imaging. And, when you get to be a certain age, every single year you need to go in and have the heart scan. You just do. I mean, if you're 40 or above, if you're 35, or above, you really need to go in every year. Everyone should go, men and women. And I bring this up a lot because it's so true. How many people do you know personally who have had heart attacks? Maybe they lived, maybe they didn't, but how many people in your life have you known of that had heart attacks? Do you know anyone who had a heart attack where everyone said, "Oh, we knew it was coming"? I've never heard that. It is, we had no idea. He went golfing every day. He mowed his own lawn every week. If you go in for the heart scan, you find out you've got a problem before you have that heart attack. Life Imaging have locations in Palm Beach County, Broward County, Dade County. I know I'm the only person that still calls it Dade County, but it's always Dade County to me. And also Orlando, so there's no excuse. And when you're over there, please ask about their full-body cancer screening and virtual colonography, okay? And say goodbye to sedation. Call right now for your free heart scan with a few minimum requirements, valued at $699. From your cell, dial pound 250, and say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. That's pound 250. Just say free heart scan, and you will be connected in seconds. Back after this.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show. It's that time of year again. Hurricane season has arrived. Make sure your roof and everything underneath it is safe and secure with something called Code Red Roofers today for a complimentary roof inspection. Yes, Code Red Roofers will come and inspect your roof free of charge. A small repair or preventative measure could save you thousands down the line. Make sure your roof is ready for hurricane season with a free professional inspection from Code Red Roofers. The roofers who respond. Call 8444-CODE-RED. That's 8444-CODE-RED. CodeRedRoofers.com. Hi, it's Brian Craig. Let me ask you this. Are you planning on retiring in the next 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, at any point in your life? Or are you already retired? Listen, economically, it's a mess with the stock market ups and downs and inflation out of control. In fact, it's the highest inflation rate in 40 years. You need a plan of action for your retirement plans. You need the advice of a retirement expert who can help you protect your money, guarantee your income, and stop losing money. Joe Thomas is president of Retirement Network Advisors, South Florida's premier retirement experts, and has been for over 20 years. He's seen it all and is a true professional that you can trust. They're family owned and operated. His daughter Jenny works with him. You know Joe and Jenny from right here on True Oldies. He's the host of the Jupiter Joe Money Show. He's been doing that for over a decade. You need Jupiter Joe's book, The Retirement Know-It-All. Mention my name, Brian Craig, and receive a free copy of his ebook. Go to jupiterjoe.com or call 561-743-0999. That's 561-743-0999. Take advantage of his free phone consultation too. Go to jupiterjoe.com or call 561-743-0999.
Do you suffer from neuropathy? I did, until I went to Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano. Numbness, pain, burning, tingling in my hands and feet, muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching have all but disappeared. Say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. Call Lighthouse Medical Center for a free consultation. 754-222-6642. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
Open enrollment may be over, but that doesn't mean your Medicare questions are. If you're turning 65, new to Medicare, moving, or qualifying for a special enrollment period, you may still have options. Don't guess when it comes to your healthcare coverage. Call Debbie at I Will Advisors at 954-753-8080. That's 954-753-8080. She'll walk you through your Medicare Advantage, your supplements, and your prescription drug plans. Then help you find coverage that fits your needs and your budget. You don't have to figure this out alone. Call Debbie today at 954-753-8080. That's 954-753-8080. Debbie can help you with your Medicare no matter where you're located in the state of Florida. 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080. I Will Advisors, helping you make Medicare simple.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. The Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, we're back. It is Friday. It is Open MAGA Mike Friday, open phones. You can call in on Friday about any and everything on your mind. I want to get to some of my audio sound bites, though, because I spend a lot of time doing this show prep. I came across this. This is from a local TV station in L.A., CBS News in Los Angeles, and they're doing a story on some teachers and what they do when they're not teaching. Listen. Lupe, oh my goodness, what do you call them in the in the classroom? Oh my goodness. Do you know why I never did well in Spanish? Is because I never learned it high school. I can't do that thing, the thing with the tongue. I can't do that. I have a dysfunction in my tongue. I can't do that thing with the tongue, so I can't say words like that and names like that. Okay, so what these teachers do is they're a neighborhood watch looking for ICE staging that are going to do raids in neighborhoods so they can alert the parents and the students. My goodness. I mean, who does that? Maybe they should be cruising around looking for people that are dealing dope and things like that. Maybe if they were doing that, I'd be like, okay, these are good teachers. But that's what the teachers do. Los Angeles has fallen. How much of our country has fallen? I mean, a lot of it. We've lost a lot of our country. I mean, there's no getting around it. We truly have. But hey, listen, we're getting it back. I got a couple other things though I want to share as well. I'm sure you heard Caroline Leavitt is leaving as press secretary. And without question, Caroline Leavitt is the best and greatest press secretary the country has ever had. And I have watched the White House press secretaries my whole life. I've never seen, most of them are friends with the press. She's able to, with kindness, humiliate them. She's very, very good, and she's leaving. And there's a lot of talk on who the replacement will be. A lot of people are talking about Alina Habba, a few other people. And my pick is Kari Lake. Kari Lake. Now, President Trump just nominated Kari Lake to be ambassador to Jamaica. There's only so many prestigious jobs that he has to hand out, and Kari Lake has never really been able. He hasn't been able to find a job for Kari Lake that's up to her level. The ambassador to Jamaica gives you the title ambassador, and that ambassador is a diplomatic rank. You have that for the rest of your life. So she hasn't been confirmed yet. She'd have to go through a confirmation process. But she would be Ambassador Lake for the rest of her life. But she was born to be the White House press secretary. There's whoever President Trump picks will be good, okay? But no one will come as close as Kari Lake. And when President Trump won re-election, everyone's first pick was Kari Lake press secretary, Kari Lake press secretary, and it didn't happen. And Caroline Leavitt got the job. And I was a little worried about Caroline Leavitt because I knew who she was, but hadn't really seen her in action. And she's like 25. I'm like, whatever. And she's the best ever. I mean, she's great. She's very good. But Kari Lake, there is not a single person out there that would be equal to or greater than Kari Lake. First off, the press hate her like the plague, and she hates them. She spent her whole life as a very highly rated anchor on the television news in Arizona, so she's perfect for the job. She knows how to handle the media, and it would be combative every day. It would be exciting, and they would not get away with anything. I would love, wouldn't you guys love, Kari Lake is my first pick. If it were up to me and I was advising President Trump, Kari Lake. And I could see how she would call them the fake news all the time. I could see her coming out to the podium. All right, our first fake news press conference today. Who from the fake news wants to go first? She'll go back and forth with them. It'll be a debate. She'll humiliate them. She'll put them in their place. There's no one that would come anywhere near being as close to Kari Lake. Now, there's other people that are good. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of good people. But the Kari Lake being named as White House press secretary would cause meltdowns in Washington by the press. They would freak out. And that's all the more reason that you want to pick her. I think it would be must-see TV. It would be the most highly rated White House press secretary press conferences every day. And if they did them around noon or 1 o'clock, it would be huge. And I think she would rather have that job than ambassador to Jamaica. Ambassador to Jamaica is just like, okay, we like Kari Lake, but we don't have any jobs left, right? What can we give her? Okay, well, ambassador to Jamaica, right? I mean, who would, if it's England, it would be, I think if she was being appointed ambassador to China or England, she'd rather be press secretary. It's a pretty prestigious job, and she was made for it. Oh, and you've seen her over the years, Kari Lake, going back and forth with the press. No one can touch her. and she knows what they're all about. Now, Caroline Levitt's very good. Don't get me wrong. She does it with charm, and Carrie Lake is right there in your face, and that's I think they need it. You know, the fake news media. I mean, look at this garbage they're pushing with the Abraham Lincoln. You know, the Navy responded and said all these stories about the Abraham Lincoln and you know all this, it's all fake. They said it's all fake news, but CNN is still running with the story every single day. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Carlos, that's from Eastern Florida.
Oh, hey, Carlos.
Hey, on yesterday's topic, I dropped the ball. The number one turncoat of all time, Colin Powell. You voted for Obama. You said you voted for Obama because Obama was black.
Well, Colin Powell, although he was a registered Republican, he was always a liberal, and his wife was big liberal, and but he came up through the ranks during Republican times, so he was like a fake Republican just because the Ronald Reagan and all that. He was lying so he could get the promotions. But yeah, you're right. He voted for Obama. And he also lied about the weapons of mass destruction. I mean, think about that. What kind of honorable general was he that he went and lied about WMDs and American service personnel were killed and maimed because of his lie?
Yeah, and if he knew it, why didn't he speak up about it? That's the one that just really...
He didn't just speak up. He was the front man. Colin Powell went to the UN and made the case for the weapons of mass destruction. He presented to the UN all the fake evidence. It was carried live on television. He's a disgusting person, Colin Powell. I'm sorry. He was a disgusting person.
Have a great weekend.
All right, you take care. You take care. I want to talk about Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. It rains every single day. It's hurricane season, guys. And any of you guys watching the weather? You seeing all these developing storms coming towards us? They're coming all the time. There's like 2 or 3. I was looking in the weather yesterday. If you have a wet spot on your ceiling, you've got a leak in your roof. You want to get it taken care of. First off, when you got a leak in your roof, it's always going to get worse, okay? But you've got to lose shingle, you've got to lose tile, and that's an entryway for the wind from the tropical storms, from the hurricane force winds. It gets under that shingle, gets under that tile where the leak is, and boom, you're off to Kansas. It rips the roof off, and that is not a fun thing during a hurricane. We had a sales guy at one of the radio stations we were at. He was at home with his 90-year-old mother, and Rick Freed. He's long since passed away, I'm sure. And the roof got ripped off, and he was in the bedroom with his 90-year-old mother, holding on to her with no roof during Hurricane Andrew. You don't want that. You don't want to be like Rick. Give Tom Laporta a call. He covers both the east and west coast of Florida and everywhere in between, from the Atlantic coast to the Gulf of America coast. Give him a call. This number rings directly to his cell phone, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. All right, we'll be back for the final hour right after this.
WTJA AM Delray Beach, also heard in St. Lucie County on 1590 WPSL Port St. Lucie and in Martin County on 1450 WSTU Stewart. We are South Florida's home for the true oldies channel. From the Code Red Roofers Weather Center, Code Red Roofers, roofers who respond. Call 844-4-CODE-RED, CodeRedRoofers.com. Here's your oldies forecast.
Heat advisory is in effect today from 11 a.m. until 7 p.m. Expect a high temperature of 91 degrees and partly cloudy skies with just a slight chance of rain. For the weekend, sunshine both Saturday and Sunday, plenty of heat, a high between 91 and 93, no mention of rain in the forecast.
Weather brought to you by Code Red Roofers, roofers who respond. Serving South Florida for over 20 years, promoting integrity over profitability, and focused on doing right over being right. Protect your home or office today with Code Red Roofers. Call 844-4-CODE-RED, CodeRedRoofers.com. And now, a True Oldies traffic check, brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
On the turnpike southbound approaching Boynton Beach Boulevard, that earlier crash has moved to the right shoulder. Delays continue back to Lake Worth Road. Atlantic Avenue, there's road work at High Point Boulevard. Spot something on the roads, call the traffic tip line, pound 250 keyword West Palm traffic. I'm Ron Hurst.
That
Catch a Traffic brought to you by PBKC. It's a great week to visit PBKC. Catch all the excitement of Saratoga and top horse tracks across the country. Then win and dine at the Paddock Restaurant with all the OTV and sports action on over 140 HD TVs, 3 giant screens, plus delicious food and drinks and friendly service. Check out the incredible fall tribute dinner shows featuring the music of Queen, CCR, the Beach Boys, Bee Gees, ABBA, Fleetwood Mac, Tina Turner, and more. For tickets, show dates, and more, go to pbkennelclub.com.
Right now, Sloman's Central Air Conditioning makes it easier than ever to upgrade without blowing your budget. Get a high-efficiency 5-ton 18-SEER system using R454B refrigerant for just $59.99. And it gets even better. Enjoy 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 18 months. Every new system comes with a 5-year all-inclusive service plan, including annual system maintenance, filter replacements, and refrigerant. So there are no annual maintenance costs. Call 561-217-COOL and learn about their special pricing on all 2, 3, 4, and 5-ton system upgrades. Whether your system is outdated or your AC finally called it quits, Sloman's has a solution that works, a payment plan that actually makes sense, and a service plan that redefines peace of mind. Call 561-217-COOL. That's 561-217-COOL. Or visit ac.slomans.com to schedule your installation. Restrictions apply. Financing with approved credit. FL number CAC 1825050.
Summer just got better with American Summer Sale from Margaritaville at Sea. Cruise from $59 per person per night. Enjoy 50% off cruises and on select sailings. Bring the whole crew because 3rd and 4th guests sail free. Paradise has never been easier to reach. Book today at margaritavillatSea.com.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All righty, we're back. The 8 o'clock hour has begun. Okay, so let me give you an example of fake news here, right? Caitlin Collins, the lipless Caitlin Collins, you know, I don't know what the deal is with her, right? Before she got this big gig, she moderated this town hall with President Trump when he was running, right, for re-election. Remember that? He wiped the floor with her. She was so humiliated, I thought she was going to cry on the stage. And then right after that, she gets promoted and gets some primetime gig over there. I don't know what's going on there. But anyway, listen to this. This is Caitlin Collins last night. Now, this is a follow-up. I was covering yesterday, another CNN idiot, fake news person, was reporting that there's basically a mutiny going on the aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln and all these. Remember I was talking? This is Caitlin Collins last night talking about the Abraham Lincoln. Okay, so she goes on. So she's telling all these stories. CNN is reporting that the long deployment, everybody on the Lincoln's jumping off the ship, they're eating rotten food, all this stuff, right? Well, U.S. Central Command released a statement yesterday about this, okay? And this is on X. This is U.S. Central Command's official X, okay? They have the claim and the fact, right? They did a fact check. And U.S. Central Command, you can look this up your own on X. I reposted on my X at Brian Craig Show. You guys look it up on your own. U.S. Central Command, they write this, claim, over the past 48 hours, multiple media outlets have reported several false claims related to the USS Abraham Lincoln, CVN 72's deployment to the Middle East. One report alleged 7 sailors died in a brawl aboard the aircraft carrier, and others have recently suggested a spike in those taking their own life. Those reports are false. Hear that? Those reports are false. That's U.S. Central Command. Fact. U.S. Central Command writes, the USS Abraham Lincoln has maintained among the highest crew enlistment rates. 84.4% of sailors on board the Abraham Lincoln re-up. Of all aircraft carriers in the U.S. Navy. So they have one of the highest re-enlistments of all of the carriers. The sailors and Marines on the Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group remain resilient and resolved after more than 260 days at sea, 10,000 aircraft flights, and 1.5 million pounds of ordnance expended. No service members aboard the Lincoln have died. The one sailor who fell overboard August 3rd was quickly and safely recovered. The rampant misreporting on Abraham Lincoln's historic deployment is a disservice to our men and women in uniform and their loved ones. I mean, just total 1,000% fake news. Fake news. And, you know, people fall overboard on ships. People fall overboard off of aircraft carriers. Oh, it happens from time to time. I've heard many of the stories over the years. People fall off cruise ships. That's usually alcohol related. But yeah, so everything that CNN has been reporting all week is 1,000% fake news, according to U.S. Central Command. So who are you going to believe? Caitlin Collins at CNN or U.S. Central Command? And that's not Pete Hegseth. It's not the president. It's from Central Command themselves. So you're in the nonpartisan zone there right now, and they're plenty ticked off at it, as they should be, because they're saying terrible things about the aircraft carrier to give aid and comfort to the media. And basically what they're becoming CNN is becoming Tokyo Rose or Axis Sally, if you're familiar with them. Now, I'm going to play Ahmed in Michigan. His sister is a hardcore, she's a college professor. She's a hardcore Muslim activist. She calls herself a Palestinian. I'm going to play some sound bites of Ahmed's sister. One I played earlier, but I forgot to hit it, but I'm not sure how well you got to hear it. So I'm going to play this one first. This is Ahmed's sister. You know, he's the Blues Clues fan that's running for senator up there. You know, the one who said he's dedicated his life to Sharia law. Yeah, for the rest of his life. His sister, listen to this. She's nuts, as you'll hear here. Listen to this. This is Ahmed's sister.
Hi, my name is Imama.
Okay, as a Palestinian, that's Ahmed's sister. So what does that mean? And what I mean by that is, if she's a Palestinian, isn't he a Palestinian? Right? Yeah. Right? They have the same parents. They're both from Michigan. So doesn't that mean that he's a Palestinian? And I'd have to say yes to that. Now, a lot of her posts to X are coming out. Some of the audio sound bites, I got to be careful because I might, like I say, if I play, she talks like Hassan Piker, so you know, I might have to hit the dump button. But some of her posts here on X, listen to this. This is Abdul's sister, the college professor. She wrote this on X. The most offensive thing about the fascist demo is all the white people trying to dance. I don't know what that means. She doesn't like making racial comments about white people. Yesterday at the airport, this is another post. Yesterday at the airport, 2 white women sat at the gate, then boarded our plane without masks. Uh-oh. No one intervened. I kept thinking about how Muslims have been thrown off planes for speaking Arabic or looking scary. But these women, actually risking our lives, were left alone. Here's another post. White supremacy, historically, is the bloodiest ideology of terror that's ever plagued the earth. This is Abdul's sister. This is my favorite. White supremacy, historically, is the bloodiest ideology of terror that's ever plagued the earth. You see a theme here? She's got a lot of terrible things to say about white people. We can't dance, we're terrorists. We don't wear masks. Here's another one. These are all posts of hers on X. Really interesting differences between white evangelicals and evangelicals of color, to me, suggest race and nationalism bigger factor here than religious affiliation. Reminder, the no-fly, no-buy legislation is racist. It doesn't keep guns out of the people most likely to use them, white men. You know, she's basically the equivalent of a woman, not Klansman. She's like a Klansman. She's a hardcore racist. She's just an anti-white racist. A lot of these are, these are about white. A lot of them focus white people. She's got an obsession, a real anger towards white people. And you may say, well, that's his sister. That's not him. You mean to tell me that if President Trump's sister was running around saying racist things about people like this all over social media, she's passed, but she was around. She was the federal judge, remember? You don't think that that would have been relevant to CNN or MSNBC? Of course it would have. You know, this is what I've learned in my time, for the most part. There are exceptions. When it comes to people that are racist, do you know where the racism comes from most people? And from my experience, you know, I got a weird profession, so I meet weird people, and some of them are racist. My experience has been racism runs through the family line, that it's passed down from the parents. And that's almost 100%. People that are racist get it from their parents. So if her parents did this to her, what about Ahmed? Here's another one. These are another post of hers on X. This is Abdul's sister. It never ceases to amaze me that white people, statistically, the safest members of our society, are also the most fearful. Here's another one. Ahmed's sister. Someday I'm going to make a Twitter account called Profound White Guy, and it will be the wisdom of a basic white boy who thinks he's wise. How can she be so racist against white people and it not infect the rest of her family? I tell you guys, Democrats have a license to do whatever it is they want to do. They have complete immunity from everything. I want to talk about Jamie Levack at Swift Tax. Listen, if you missed the tax filing deadline this year or have years in the past where you've not filed taxes, Jamie Levack can help you. I'm going to give you his number in just a moment, so get something to write with. However, if you're a business owner, whether you have a large company, a brick and mortar business, you know, Jamie Levack can not only help you with your business taxes and your payroll taxes, but your bookkeeping as well. But those of you out there that have small businesses, you want to call Jamie Levack too. If you have a home-based business, if you're an Uber, Lyft driver, DoorDasher, work in that kind of field, and you don't have Jamie Levack working for you as your tax professional, you are paying too much money in taxes. You really are. Give Jamie Levack a call. If you owe back taxes, even if you've already made arrangements with the IRS, call Jamie Levack. And remember, he can help you in no matter what state you're located in the United States. You know, even if you've made arrangements with the IRS in the past, or you're just in debt to the IRS and you haven't made reservation, call Jamie Levack over at Swift Tax. He'll take care of all of it for you. And he loves doing it. He loves saving money for you. He really does. It's a game to him. He loves to see how much money he can save you. And he does a great job. Give him a call. This number rings directly to Jamie Levack's cell phone. Now, if you're here in South Florida, you could meet with Jamie Levack at Swift Tax in person, and you're more than welcome to. He'd love to meet with you. But if you're out of town or in another state, you can do it over a phone call or a video call, a Zoom call. 954-773-1587. 954-773-1587. You can call or text. 954-773-1587. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
When you need lab work, don't waste hours and hours waiting at the doctor's office of one of those big labs. Go to any lab test now of Boca and any lab test now of Coral Springs. Their prices are guaranteed to be the lowest you'll find anywhere. No appointment, doctor's order, or prescription is needed, and you're in and out in 15 minutes or less. They offer every lab and blood work your doctor can order. They even have drug testing and STD testing. Take control of your health care and visit any lab test now of Boca and any lab test now of Coral Springs. There's lots of any lab test nows around, but these are the only two advertising on our radio station. So don't use the rest. Only go to any lab test now of Boca and any lab test now of Coral Springs. And make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio.
Do you suffer from neuropathy? I did, until I went to Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano. Numbness, pain, burning, tingling in my hands and feet, muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching have all but disappeared. Say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. Call Lighthouse Medical Center for a free consultation. 754-222-6642.
You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Sandra. I'm calling from Delray Beach. The Barry Siegel Law Group did such wonderful work for me, and I was very particular. I'm a professional myself, and I went to about 3 or 4 attorneys prior. They wanted to do what they wanted to do. They didn't want to add anything extra, but Barry tailored it to my needs. And it's not only the trust. There's so many other end-of-life documents, the living will, the will, and I tailored each one of them to my liking, and they were wonderful and always polite. And not only that, when you finish your documents and you leave this world, your beneficiaries can go there and they'll explain everything to them, which is a big deal. The Siegel Group is above and beyond any other attorney that I have ever contacted. Plus, they give you a big portfolio at the end with a leather-bound documents. It's beautiful.
Give the Siegel Law Group a call, 855-FLA-3782, 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
All righty, we're back. I'm Brian, Steve Kane Show. It is Open MAGA Mike Friday, open phones every Friday. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hey, New Jersey. Haven't you learned yet? I'm not gonna talk to you, and you know why. You call in with a different name from a different state every time, because I'm not a chump. You call in from a different name with a different name in a different state every call, and I'm not gonna talk to you. You call in. You know, I don't mind talking to jerks and idiots and liberals and everything else, but you're not gonna call in with a different name in a different state and a different city every time, like I'm some idiot and don't know it's you. I'm sorry. I'm very open to all opinions are welcome on this program, but you gotta show a certain level of respect and decency, which I understand is difficult for liberals to do. All right, now I wanted to share this with you. One of the new tactics that the liberals are doing, okay, is they're trying to destroy our churches. You know, Tallarico is about this. There's an infiltration going on of our churches in this country by these liberal, they're really atheist, and they pass themselves off as, or try as Christians, sometimes even pastors. And this is where the culture war is at right now. I came across this morning. This is a guy by the name of Adam Hamilton. He's a reverend. And this clip is of him at the pulpit speaking to his congregation. He's also the Democrat nominee for the U.S. Senate in the state of Kansas. Listen to this. If you're on hold, hang in there. Oh, hold on. Why is it? No. Oh, okay. I got to turn the pot on. That'll do it. Okay, here he is. Again, he's Reverend Adam Hamilton. He's speaking from his pulpit, and he's also the Democrat nominee for the United States Senate in Kansas. Listen. Okay, now so far kind of good. I mean, I don't study other religions. Because I'm not. I did in college take 2 semesters the history of Islam. It's a 2-semester course, but hey, listen, they knocked down the World Trade Center. I wanted to learn, but I don't sit around and study other religions. I don't know why this minister would, but listen to the pivot that he does here. Listen to this. Okay, so this guy, he's a Democrat running for Senate in Kansas. He's the nominee. He won the primary, and he's also a reverend. And he's telling his congregation, I would never go back to that church. I'll tell you that. I would leave, and I would never come back. He's telling his congregation that Muslims and Buddhists and whatever other religion you may be, you all get to Jesus. See what they're doing to our churches? It's subtle. More subtle than other places, less subtle than others. But this is what the liberals are doing. They're trying to destroy us from within. And this new tactic, you see it with Tellerico in Texas, with this joker in Kansas, they're infiltrating the churches and telling you that there are other ways to heaven and to Jesus other than the one that we know. All right, you got to watch out for these liberals. We're under attack everywhere by the left. All right, let's take some more calls. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
No, here we go. Yes.
This is Jim.
Yes. Mm-hmm. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jim from Florida.
Jim in Florida. Okay, Jim in Florida. What's up?
Well, the point was, I was talking with somebody the other night, and they gave me numbers to call in. Well,
Just to call, somebody just gave you my number and said to call me?
yeah, but this is the thing. People won't really ever know this to talk about this. Did anyone ever think that maybe Donald Trump's just a double agent? Everything he says he was going to do, the reverse is happening. The economy's collapsing. The bond market's collapsing. 70% of the farmers can't afford the fertilizer.
Mm.
Food that comes in has salmonella.
Yeah, okay, slow down a second. You said something I'm very interested in. Somebody you were talking to gave you my number to call in, so you've never heard of me or anything before. Like, how did this happen? Where were you? Was it like in some Reddit group? Was it on, where were you?
No, we were just talking about Donald Trump.
Well, when you say you were talking, what was the forum? Were you in person with this person? Were you?
No, it was a face-to-face. Like
You were. Oh, wait a second. Hold on. You were in person. Like, where were you? Where you had this conversation?
Well, you're trying to stop what I'm saying. We were just talking.
Notice that. No, but what I want to know. Okay, you were in someone. Hold on a second. You were at someone's house in their living room having a conversation. They gave you my number. What did they say to you?
They said, "Oh, you should call in. I bet you they'd be surprised. It sounds like the person on the show is just paid to say whatever Donald Trump wants them to say." They never mentioned that we used to have enough farmland.
So where in Florida are you? Where in Florida? Where in Florida are you? No, well, I'm curious. This is interesting. Where in Florida are you? Where in Florida are you?
Where in Florida am I?
Yeah.
I'm in South Florida.
So am I. I'm in South Florida too. Like what county? Okay, so am I. I'm in Palm Beach County. Okay, so you were in someone's house, you were in someone's living room having this conversation. Why were you there? What were you doing at this person's house? Well, I think it's, well, I'm very curious who this person was who said, hey, here's this number, call this guy. That seems a little strange. I'm just curious how this happened.
Well, I've heard them mention, oh, if you want to hear, call in on a Friday, and if you call on a Friday, it's like an open conversation.
Yeah.
Anything, right?
Well, that's what we're having. That's what we're having. Yeah, but why were you at this person's house, though? What was the occasion?
It's just a friend, just like you go over to your friend's house.
Yeah, you went over to your friend's house. For what purpose, though? Why were you at your friend's house?
We were over to a friend's house, just watch YouTube and listen to music.
You were get together. What kind of music? What kind of music were you listening to? Big Broadway, disco. What were you listening to?
Blues, jazz.
Okay. So Christian music. So at what point in the conversation did I come up in this living room with all the blues and everything being played? You got YouTube on. You got.
You're pretty good.
Yes, I am. I am good. I am good. Yes, thank you very much. I am very good. Yes, I am. Yeah, no. The main point is I'm very curious about this. So what was this? What was the conversation you were having? What was the? Excuse me. I'm up against a break. I don't have much time. So at what? Well, I will agree with you. You do sound crazy. So what was the conversation about that led to them giving you my phone number and saying call me?
We were talking about that Donald Trump basically says a lot of things. He ran as MAGA and he's going to make America great.
And he has, and he absolutely has.
It's just like an illusion, right? Closing the borders.
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't complain about that.
So your friend, let me ask you, does your friend hate Trump too? Does your friend hate Trump too? Does your friend hate Trump too? Does your friend hate Trump too?
We voted for him. I've never voted Democrat in my life.
Oh, you voted for Donald Trump.
I am not a liberal.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
I've never voted a Democrat in my life.
You're a liberal. You're not MAGA. You're not MAGA. Uh-huh. Oh, that's like being at the beaches of Normandy yourself. You know why your friend? I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Excuse me. I will tell you why your friend gave me. I'll tell you why your friend gave you my number.
You were just trying to distract the truth.
I know the truth. Yeah. I will.
Make sure people don't hear anything like this.
No. The reason.
I already heard you on the phone. I said you're just a paid representative on a radio station.
Of what? What? And who's paying me? Who's paying me? Who's paying me? Okay. Yeah, which you should be happy. There's a reason why. Oh, slow down for a second. I'm late for the break, but I'm going to get this point out. Do you know why your friend gave you my number? Oh, he hung up. Well, I'll tell you guys out there. Do you know why his friend gave him my number? Why do you think? I'll tell you after the break, okay? We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. From the all-year cooling weather center, South Florida's #1 choice for same-day AC service and installation.
Oh, I thought you didn't. I was just looking to see if you were coming. What's going on?
How you doing, bro?
Good. Did you have anything in particular you wanted to?
Yeah.
Okay, I got a couple things I'll bring up to you.
Update.
I'll finish up talking about this idiot I was just talking to.
I'm trying to make it here in time. It's getting later and later.
You could ride a bike.
Yeah, I could. I need one of those electric scooters.
Yeah.
What's up, Michael?
investment estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit
So I know, like, I told you my mom was gonna call you.
today.
Oh yeah. My dad might be her too. Oh yeah. I'm jealous of him as well. Oh, cool. He's gonna remember. Cool. That'd be great. That's what people say all the time. I gotta call you.
Got to call you, and then it takes it. Well, they do eventually, at some point.
What was the deal with that last caller? I was trying to figure it out.
I'll tell after the break. Lunatic. Lunatic.
Yeah, just sitting around listening to Christian music.
And blues and Christian music. Give me a break.
Brian Craig just came up.
Yeah, exactly. Give me a break.
Actually, that was an interesting conversation.
Yeah. Nutcase.
The good thing is you can feel not instantly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's a couple things I was going to tell you, but I can't talk now with all the microphones on. I had a couple things I wanted to tell you. But I may call. Maybe I'll call you next week. Fine.
Okay, sounds good.
Are you still doing that thing you called me about the other day? With the.
I haven't done it yet. Yeah. I'm working on it. In fact, we're going to talk about it today in the office.
Yeah, I'll be glad to help with that.
No rush, so.
Yeah.
However, it would be great.
Yeah. But there's a couple things I'm doing I wanted to tell you about, but I'll tell you. I'm talking in code, so you guys on YouTube can't hear our private conversations. Talking in code.
So private.
Yeah. If it weren't for you, I would just tell him. It's nothing big. It's just, you know.
Yeah, and remember, Jamie Leeback can help you with your taxes no matter where
I can think of something, but I'm not going to say it.
Yeah.
Give him a call right now. 954-773-1587. 954
I have my hairdresser I got from your show.
How's that?
My name's Shawna. She listens to your show for years.
Oh, really?
So it's been a big business for me.
Oh, wow.
She does my hair now.
All right. We're back. Joe Thomas is in studio. I just want to finish, Joe, before we get started on that last call. That last caller, who's a lunatic, the reason his friend gave him my number was to get rid of him.
Oh.
You want that guy? Can you imagine having that guy in your living room? Oh, my God. Could you imagine? That's the worst. Joe Thomas is in studio. You know, I was listening earlier. You have a recorded commercial that's running on the radio station talking about the 15% bonus.
Oh, right.
And the thing with annuities, I told you guys, I didn't know anything about annuities till I met Joe Thomas. And then I thought there was like an annuity.
Mm-hmm.
But there's like, I don't know how many different types of annuities, but there's many different types of annuities for different things in different situations. And this particular annuity with the 15% bonus, can we talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's an incentive to start an annuity. And what they do is they give you 15% upfront on your money. Now, there's conditions. You have to hold the contract, for years. And at some point, you take income if you want to. If you don't want to, you want to walk away clean with all your money plus the bonus. It also has a full death benefit, meaning if you pass away, you put $100,000 and it's $115,000. Your beneficiary gets $115,000.
Yeah. So the way the 15% bonus annuity works, which is, I know that's not the official name, but that's what I'm calling it.
Okay.
It means that the money you put into the annuity, you make day one instantly 15% on the money.
And you're earning interest on that money.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what's significant.
So if it's $100,000, it's $115,000, but you don't have to invest $100,000.
$25,000 minimum.
Well, 15% of $25,000 is like $3,700, $3,750 or something like that. Yeah, I mean, I'm not good with the math, but that's almost $4,000 to me. 37. So you invest $25,000. Think about this: $25,000. You've made $3,750-ish before you leave the. That's a lot of money to make on $25,000.
Brian, here's the significance of it. Whatever it does between now and the end of the year, you get that interest. So let's say it does another 5%. You're getting another $1,500 on top of it.
Yeah.
And this is what we talked about. It's a long-term investment. It's not short-term. This isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. This is slow and steady wins the race.
Well, what an annuity is to me, and again, maybe you're the financial guy, not me, but you're building generational wealth with annuities, right?
You can leave this money. My own son, we're going to leave him an annuity. He's not particularly great with lump sums, but he's better with monthly. We're going to leave him, when we pass away, me and my wife, we're going to leave him a monthly income that he gets for a certain period of time.
Yeah.
And by the way, unless you have a trust, insurance companies are the only people that will do that for you for free.
Yeah.
For free.
Well, this is the thing. I talked to Attorney Barry Siegel about this a lot. I know people that earn 6 figures a year that live paycheck to paycheck.
Oh yeah.
Right?
People make 300,000 and 400,000.
Yeah,
have
yeah.
no money in the bank.
They have nothing, zero, and they're living paycheck to paycheck. And there's always people like that. In annuities, you get that income every month,
right?
And that means they're not going to blow the money, and they're going to get the money, and they're going to be able to live off the money. But there's other annuities too. So we've got the bonus annuities. What are just some of the other annuities that you like?
Just fixed annuity. If you're
What's that mean?
If you're used to a CD at a bank where you go and you buy a 6-month CD, well, we sell 2 and 3 and 4 year annuities. It works just like a CD, but it's with an insurance company, and they pay you a fixed rate of interest, say 5% for 5 years. And our rates are higher than the banks. I mean, the banks are 3% right now, 3.5%.
I didn't even know people still did CDs.
Well, they don't. They do annuities now. They know about them, and we're getting 5.5 on some of these. We have one right now that's 6% a year for 5 years fixed.
Wow.
I mean, you're talking 30% on $100 grand. You're making $6,000 a year, and it's compounded by.
And there's no risk.
And there's zero risk. And people say, well, what if the insurance company goes?
Oh, okay. So compounded. So the next year you're making the 6% off 106.
Exactly. So at the end of 5 years, you have about $133,000 in your account, guaranteed. And
After
you walk
5
away
years.
Clean, no fees, no charges, no commissions. The company pays me a commission out of their pocket.
So it's not like like with your financial advisor, you got to pay a commission yourself with every transaction.
Well, here's what I tell people. Let's say you have $1 million with a financial advisor, and you're paying them 1% a year. That's 10 grand a year.
Yeah.
In 10 years, you put $100,000 out. What financial advisor is worth $100,000? Think about the numbers, folks. It's a lot of money.
The thing with annuities, my wife, they talk about annuities and Pride and Prejudice.
Oh, do they really?
They do, and it's the same thing we were talking about. Because Pride and Prejudice. You guys know the book Pride and Prejudice. It's about old money people in England, and that's what the old money people did. And I was talking to you about this on your show a while back. Annuities is how rich people have been doing it forever.
Oh, yeah.
And in the last few decades, annuities have become available to regular people.
Yeah, when I started in this business, it was a long time ago, right? And it wasn't as prevalent as it is today. Now, people want annuities because they want the income stream. People have a hard time managing wealth.
Yeah.
So, but it's easier for them because they've had a job to manage income.
Yeah.
That's why everybody gets a Social Security check. And an annuity was just another Social Security check. And like you said, Brian, you brought it up to me, and I knew about this, but I forgot because I've been doing it so long. You forget more than you know. We were talking about if somebody does pass away, you lose that Social Security check.
Oh, as you get older, you more of my friends are retiring. They're all talking about their Social Security. They're counting down till they get the max. Okay, I can retire at this time, at this year. And what I just came up to on my own was people spend so much time planning their retirement, and a big part of it's Social Security. And I don't think they think about, well, one of them's going to die and they lose it. They get to get the greater check, the larger check, but they still lose one of them.
I put in my book years ago, Brian. People go through life with rose-colored glasses, saying this isn't going to happen to me, but it does happen to you. It does happen. So you got to be careful. You got to make sure that it does happen. You're prepared for it.
And the big thing is, I know a lot of you have your money in a fund, and everybody's on the app, and you're looking at that fund, and today you've got 300,000, but then Monday you've got 185,000 or something, right? Right? You know what I'm talking about? And so don't download the apps into your phones, because it causes ulcers. But I have a lot of friends that do this all the time. They're in their app, and they're But the thing about that is, when you're at retirement age, you cannot afford those ups and downs because, one, you're not in the workforce, so you're not making the money, right? And you don't have the time to build it back up.
True.
So with the annuity, the money's always safe. You can have that monthly income coming in for the rest of your life. Give Joe Thomas a call and schedule your no-charge consultation. And remember, Joe Thomas is going to put together a presentation based on your situation, your goals, and your income level. And please don't make the mistake of thinking you don't have enough money for annuities. Talk to Joe, tell him everything, and he'll tell you. 561-743-0999, 561-743-0999, and you can find his number on his website, jupiterjoe.com. All right, Joe, take care. We will see you soon, and we'll talk next week. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. I've lost all track of time and what I'm doing. Okay, yeah, here I am. Okay. After the gold report, I got a couple of other things I'm going to get into. But just, to getting back to what I was talking about before the bottom of the hour, you have probably noticed there's an increasing number of Democrat Christians like Tallarico and this guy in Kansas that I was talking about that are giving you this new liberal brand of Christianity. And you've got to watch out. The Democrats are trying completely new tactics, and it's all in response to MAGA. It's all in response to Trump. The Democrats have lost the blacks. They've lost a huge chunk of the gays. They've lost the Jews because of their anti-Semitism. Groups that the Democrats took for granted, they've lost, right, to the Republican Party. And they're always scheming to try to find ways to win people back. And they don't understand the Christian right. So what they're trying to do, one of the many things they're trying to do, and they'll have success because this Democrat running for the Senate in Kansas, he was very subtle about it, but he was making his own Christian doctrine here, which is the Bible specifically says not to do that. I mean, he's right on this pulpit. They're infiltrating the churches and rewriting Christianity in this country to try to win back Christians into the liberal sphere of things because they've lost the average Christian voter too. And it's really frightening. These leftists are evil. There has never been a time that the Democrat Party has existed that they've not been evil, even during Kennedy's time. People say, "Oh, Kennedy was great." Go back and look at President Kennedy from Love Field all the way through to the assassination. Look at the people on the sides of the road waving at the motorcade before the assassination. They're all waved. They have two flags, the American flag and the Confederate flag, right? They're waving Confederate flags at President Kennedy and Jackie Kennedy, okay? The Democrats have always been evil, all right? Don't be fooled by, Camelot and all this stuff. And this new tactic they're pulling with the churches, they are doing this all over the United States. And Kansas, it doesn't get more Americana than Kansas, and you got a lunatic like this. But if you remember, Kansas is where, remember that late-term abortionist, Tiller? He would do abortions the day before due date, day of due date. He was in Kansas, remember? All right, we'll take our last break of the day, come back with the Gold Report and more right after this.
Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show. Hi, Tom Laporta here. We are Laporta Roofing, the family business since 1983. You are our customer. In other words, our boss. We are here for and because of you, not the other way around. The 2026 rainy season is upon us. Because we haven't had a hurricane in 2 years, all the storm chaser roofing companies have gone out of business, leaving only the strongest and the best contractors. At Laporta Roofing, we will never sell you a roof you don't need. We don't have salesmen or commissions, so we will never pressure you to sign a contract. Also, deposits are not required.
I'll get them.
At Laporta Roofing, you will always come first. We must earn your trust, and we will. So call me on my cell at 954-604-4602 or find us on the...
Hi, it's Brian. Gotcha. I'm going to put you on hold. We'll be back in about 90 seconds. All right, hold on. I got him.
I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, we are back, and the show has flown by. I mean, it seems like I just came on the air. It's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the final gold and precious metals report of the week. William Youngerman, how the metals ending up the week?
back yesterday after trading in a range of 43.43 to $4,450.
Wow.
Gold, they closed at $4,350.30. That was down $57.40. Silver lost 89 cents at $64.32 the ounce. Platinum was down $37 at $1,711. And palladium was down $58 at $1,292. At the time yesterday, I suggested that these lower prices probably wouldn't last long and take advantage of the dip, which a lot of our Steve Kane listeners did. And gold up $22.70 right now. This morning it has been $10 higher than that at one point. 43.88 on the high this morning, 43.10 on the low last night. Silver right now $64.85. That's up 53 cents. Platinum up $20 at $1,731. And palladium unchanged $1,292. So the markets are doing very good, and take advantage again of any of these dips that we do see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, yesterday we were talking about some of the larger size things you can buy in both gold and silver, and I wanted you to tell people about fractional gold, if you don't mind, because, you know, at these, you know, we give out the prices by the ounce, and you hear $4,400 an ounce, and maybe somebody doesn't have $4,400, but with fractional gold, there's gold that fits pretty much every budget. Can you talk a little bit about fractional gold?
Yeah, we have fractional gold in the bars as low as 1 gram, which is 1/30th of an ounce, or 1/31st of an ounce of gold. So there's 31.15 grams in an ounce. So that's a very affordable way, and all the way up to 2.5, 5, 10, 20 grams, and then a full 1 ounces. And then, but the U.S. government and all the foreign governments that produce bullion coins make 4 different sizes, usually 1/10, quarter ounce, half ounce, and of course the 1 ounce coin.
Yeah.
These are all very affordable, and we really like the 1/10 ounce gold coins, either in the Maple Leafs or the Eagles or some of the other products. So those are great products.
The 1/10 ounce gold coins you're talking, the sovereign coins you're talking about, like the American Gold Eagle and the Maple Leaf, etc. Those are some of the most popular coins of all, it seems to me.
They really are. They're very popular.
Yeah, and they're great. And when you get 10 of them, you got a full ounce of gold, and it comes quick too. And they're beautiful coins. Listen, give William Youngerman a call. He opens up at 10 a.m. 800-327-5010. 800-327-5010, or stop in Boca at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, on the first floor of the Bank of America building, immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway, on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. And find both his address and phone number online at WilliamYoungerman.com. That's WilliamYoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk on Monday. All right, take care. You too. Okay, so, you know, to fit in with this guy from Kansas I was telling you about, I pulled up Tallarico. Now, Tallarico, when I first heard of Tallarico, he was kind of being billed as a preacher. And you keep seeing him in these church groups and everything in Texas. And when I'm telling you, don't think I'm nuts that they're moving in the church. I mean, I'm not, you know, I'm a Catholic. I know I'm not into these Presbyterian churches, you know, but I know what they're doing. Right? And we, by the way, we believe in the same thing, Catholics and you Protestants out there. Don't let them tell you anything different. But listen to Tallarico, who's billing himself as a Christian, talk about the Bible and Christianity. And remember what I told you about that guy that's the Democrat nominee for Senate from the pulpit, the Reverend in Kansas. Listen to this. Okay, so Tallarico, who's billing himself as a Christian and a Christian leader, right? He's saying that it is immoral to teach kids that the Bible is the only truth, right? That's what he's, let me play it again. I don't want to... Well, that's true. The Bible stories are fact. If you're a Christian You believe the Bible stories are a fact because you know what? They are. It is, the Bible is the only truth. If you're a Christian, right? If you're a Christian, you know that the Bible is the only truth. And this is your new Christian? Oh, and the Bible being the only truth is propaganda. This is Tallarico. Okay. Now, Paxton out there, his campaign, this right here is enough to win the race with. It really, truly is. And they can run around like Paxton, he had a campaign town hall phone call thing the other day. Have any of you ever been involved in one of those? I have once or twice. It's like you've got like 500 people, 1,000 people on a town hall phone call. They're a little weird, but I've done them. But anyway, of course he gets a call. Why'd you divorce your wife? Why'd you leave your wife? This is their tactic because they feel, oh, well, Paxton's an evangelical Christian. He's probably a Southern Baptist, I'm guessing, being from Texas. I could be wrong. And he's got all these things. Him and his wife split, and his wife left him over some biblical issues. But, that's a very vague thing. He's got a girlfriend now. Him and his wife are split, so she's probably got a boyfriend. But there was a, who is that? Who's the famous Baptist preacher from Georgia? He died a couple of years ago. Oh, I can't. I went to his church once. I can't remember his name. He just died a couple years ago. Big TV pastor, and his wife was about to leave him many years ago because he was spending so much time not with other women, but as a minister on the church, she felt ignored, and his wife left him, and not because he was cheating, but because he worked too much. And the church almost tossed him out from being the head pastor because he got divorced. Charles Stanley. Thank you very much. Charles Stanley. I went to see his church, one of his sermons once in person in Georgia. He was very good. I miss Charles Stanley. He was very good, Charles Stanley. He's one of the best ever. But and even as a Catholic, I used to watch him on television with my wife every week. But Paxton, him and his wife are divorced. We don't really know why. When Charles Stanley's wife left him, it was a biblical divorce because he was spending too much time at work, right? So that's very vague. But even if Paxton had an affair, I don't know. Christians are not perfect people, and what liberals do when they're trying to discredit Christians is point out to sins. We're all sinners. Everyone sins. That's part of being a Christian. You try not to, and that's what Jesus, and all these things. You all know the story. I'm not the one to preach, about Christianity. I don't know my Bible. I don't read my Bible like I'm supposed to. My wife tells me this constantly, and I get it. But what I see with Tallarico and this guy running for the Senate in Kansas is dangerous. And, I began the show talking about Ahmed in Michigan. And he said he has a lifetime commitment to Sharia law in this New York Times interview from a few years ago. And that's pretty scary. But what Tallarico's talking about here, calling the Bible propaganda, what this Democrat that got the nomination for Senate in Kansas, when he's saying that Muslims and Buddhists and Mormons and everybody, no matter what religion they are, can go to Jesus too and all this stuff, they're rewriting Christianity, these liberals, to infiltrate it, and it's very dangerous what they're doing. We're almost out of time, but I'll see if I can get a call or two in before the end. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Dennis, Palm Beach Gardens.
Hey, Dennis.
So you believe in Noah that Moses splitting the Red Sea?
All of it. If it's in the Bible, I believe it. No, it's not nonsense, but that's okay. Uh-huh.
Somebody's memories. And what if God could come to people like in Moses, he gave him the 10 Commandments. And what's the first one? This one, or maybe you can explain this. Is the first one that I am the Lord that God?
So let me. I'm really sure. Excuse me. I'm very short on time. So what is your religion?
Jewish.
Are you a practicing Jew? Do you believe in Judaism? Oh, so you reject Judaism because you're talking about volume 1, right? With the things you're mocking are in the Torah. I mean, so you're a Jew who denies the Torah. Okay, so you're an atheist now. So you're an atheist now. Are you an atheist? You know what an agnostic is? You know, I remember once I saw Elton John interviewed by Phil Donahue, and he asked him if he was gay, and he said he was bisexual. Being agnostic is like being bisexual. Guys that say they're bisexual don't have the guts to admit they're gay, so they say that. Freddie Mercury used to say he was bi. You know, agnostics are atheists who don't, you know, you're trying to hedge your bets. It must be nice. Yeah, okay, so you're an atheist. Okay. Okay.
My whole life. It's only recently, with all the crap that's going on in this world. For example, what was the thing where all those kids drowned in South or North Carolina?
Yeah, things happen, like the Holocaust. Things happen. Things happen.
How could he let that happen?
Mm-hmm.
All the time in the old days.
So when you die, what happens?
You go to dust.
Oh, okay, nice. Then what's the point?
What, you think when you die you're going to come back as Donald Trump's son?
No, I hope I end up in heaven, in paradise.
I hope you do.
But you think that you just turn to dust and get eaten by worms and there's nothing. So what's the point of life?
Well, you enjoy your life while you're.
Say and I'll tell you, you have no moral code because you lied and said you're agnostic. When pressed, you told me you're atheist. I mean, this is. You're not sure. Yeah, I know. There's no atheist in foxholes, and you're an old man, and you're. I gotta run. I'm out of time. We have less than a minute left, and I want to tell you guys, Friendly Tire in Margate is open on Saturdays. You know, at Friendly Tire in Margate, you could get brand new tires out the door and on the road for as low as $75 a tire. That's right, brand new tires out the door and on the road as low as $75 a tire. And when I say out the door and on the road, Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to balance the tire, mount the tire, or dispose of your old tires. So that price he quotes you is out the door and on the road. He has thousands of good used tires in stock for just $35 a tire, and for many sizes, and that's out the door and on the road as well. He also does tire repairs. Call Friendly Tire. Friendly Mike will give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. That's 954-977-9445. We're out of time. Callers on hold, stand by. We'll be back Monday morning at 6 a.m. and you will be first in line on Monday's show. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. See ya. Take care. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe if you're new, and everyone, please like the video. My name is Brian. This